So there we go. So we're live. We're back. Hello, everyone watching. Welcome back to AJ and Matt, or Matt and AJ chats, whatever way round you want to do it. I'm back. Matt's back. We've got a couple of guests with us. We've got Movie Madman down below. It's his first time on a live. Fantastic channel. Go check him out. I will leave links in the descriptions and that afterwards. We've got Bumper on down there, who's returning again to us, which is fantastic. And obviously, I mentioned Matt. He's there. There we go. Yeah, we're doing it at this time of day because, to be honest, I was out with the wife at lunchtime. It was her birthday in the week, so we went out for something to eat at lunch. And that brought us to sort of this time of day. So we'll go round the room first. I won't go with yourself first, John. That's Movie Madman. So you can just see, that way you ain't got the pressure. You can see what other people do. Do you know what I mean? And you can. So Bumper, if you just want to sort of say hi and introduce your channel and that, and then we'll move to John then, so you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so I'm Bumper. My channel's Bumper's Movies. It's your usual kind of haul videos, unboxings, some reviews, out and about, things like that. I'm a big horror fan, so I got a series that I do with Double Bill Movies, Trevor, where we watch the 39 Category 1 video nasties and give our thoughts. I do a weekly hunt video. I try and do a weekly release video. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. But yeah, just all the good stuff really relating to physical media.
Yeah, that's cool. What I like about your weekly hunt videos is they're different in that you're looking for the stuff that I'm not looking at.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah,
not like
for sure,
sort of, you know, like you're going to see the same stuff that I'm looking for. It's this stuff I'd never have heard of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. So.
Yeah. So Movie Madman, John, like I said, first time on the channel. So first time live, actually. So we'll go easy on him. So if you want to have a little bit about your channel, just sell it to, because we've got a few people watching at the moment.
All right. Well, I'm John. I'm a movie idiot. I think it's probably the best way to put it. I do a lot of comparing 4K films to Blu-rays and unboxings and stuff like that, and try and get special edition things and things like that. And it usually just comes with loads of sarcasm and jokes, and that's about as far as it goes so far.
Yeah. How long have you been on, John? How long has your channel been going?
About a year.
Okay,
if that,
cool.
I had a bit of a break at the end of last year, and then I started it again this year, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. COVID's confused me a little bit there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, there certainly is a lot of sarcasm on your channel.
Yeah.
It makes it different.
Yeah.
It makes it what's the word I'm looking for? It's
comical.
Different. It's fun. Yeah. You know, you got a good way about you. Is the best way of trying to say it nicely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
I do my best.
Yes. So it's great to have you on. I'm glad that we've managed to get you on. I know we've been speaking about it for maybe about 4 weeks or something. So fantastic. Yeah. And obviously there's Matt, as you know. So Matt, trying to give a little spiel.
Yeah. I'd say pretty much the same as all of us here, you know, pick up videos. Yeah, I'm currently doing a series of well, in production at the moment is sort of all about the Marvel films. So sort of in March and April, you're going to be seeing my Marvel collection. So yeah, look forward to that. But yeah, just unboxings, the odd review now and again, and doing a few shorts as well. Sort of been trying to do a few of those, something new this year. So varying success. You know, some do really well, others not so. But you know, it's yeah, it's just about sort of mixing it up a bit and trying different things.
No, that's good. I myself, I'll let people know, I'm in a sort of I feel in a bit of flux at the moment in that collecting wise, I'm not sure where I'm going with it. I'll be honest, because I'm looking at a lot of back titles at the moment and things. I'm still getting some of the new stuff, but I'm questioning a lot of it. I'll be honest, especially the upgrades and all this sort of a thing. And so I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of sort of visiting older stuff, older TV stuff and all this. So I don't know what that means in a sense of, I think my collecting habits are in a state of change, shall we say. And I don't know how I don't know. We have to see. We have to see what happens with that one. But there we go. So, John, what sort of genres would you say are your, give us a bit of that. What do you like? What do you gravitate towards? You've gone sideways. Is there anything? Oh, you got pictures coming up. Are you still there, John? I don't know. I think something's gone funny with John there. So
No, yeah, he's still there.
we can't hear you, John. You're gone. Your sound's gone.
Yeah.
Try maybe try sort of going off and coming back on or something. See if we can get you back. If you can hear me. All right. So we're having some issues there with John. He's side on at the moment and silent. No, I can't hear you. Sound's gone. If you can hear me, jump off, leave the chat and come back in. I'll bring you back in, see if that works. So sorry about that, folks. We'll move on till John manages to do something. I don't know, he's still moving about. Anyway, let's have a look who's about in the chats first of all. So we've got Danny. Hi all, looking forward to this. Matt, Bumper, can I still hear you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, you've gone silent there, and I'm like, has everyone gone silent? So we can't hear you, John. I don't know what's happened to him. Okay, John, what I'm going to do is I'll remove you from the stream if you can hear me, then put yourself back in. Go through the whole process of putting yourself back into it. Hopefully he got that.
Yeah.
And he got John. If you're still listening, you're there. I've removed you from the stream, so come back in. Go through the process of logging back into it. So Danny's saying, "Hey, hi, AJ and Matt." And Bumper, to be fair to you and John, he done that at 6:33 p.m. So you weren't in it. So that's why there's no hello to you.
You're the hosts. You're the ones the fans came to see.
Good evening, gents. Hope you are well. From Richard. Hi, Rich. Hope you're keeping well. Wait a minute. I think we've got.
Did John back or what? Here he is.
We've got you back with sound, John. John, we can see you.
I can't hear anything.
Can you not? So John's lost volume with us.
I'm guessing you guys can't hear me.
I can hear you. Yes. Can hear you,
can
now.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, that's awkward. I can't hear you.
I don't know why that would be.
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Right, so this should not be live.
So we've got sound issues here, folks.
I always say use Chrome. Chrome browser's the best one, really.
It's don't let this put you off, John. It's a learning curve on using these lives.
I still can't hear anything.
That's not. Oh, I'm saying this, and he can't hear me. All right, so we'll let John fiddle around with that.
It's just awkward.
It is awkward. It really is.
Have you got him on Instagram, AJ? Can you message him on Instagram?
No, I haven't. I've only got him on email. Only on email. Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Hopefully he'll come back.
Yeah.
So Stephen, hi Stephen, how are you doing? That's Big Steve.
Oh yeah.
It's Steve.
I still ain't gone through his Transformers video that he put up today, showing all his Transformer figures. The other day, he opened up a lovely Dead Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime in all grey, like when he's laying on the table in the animated movie. It looked fantastic. Stephen Luther. How you doing, Steve?
Hi,
Hope
Stephen.
you're keeping well. Dimension Scott. Hi, Scott. How you doing,
Yep.
Dimension?
Hi, mate.
Hope you're well. Hiya, Mark. How you keeping? Hope you're well. I did do a Punisher video today on dirty laundry. So
Really enjoyed that. Thought it was a great.
I-
I thought the way you did it was really good with that sort of small picture in picture. Yeah, it's really good. I think you should do some more of that.
I will.
Those
I'm gonna
good.
do Batman Dead End. John, have we got
I
you
thought it
back?
was fantastic. That
John, you can't hear us.
Won't work. I can't hear you.
I don't know why.
Strange. Could be the web browser, because that's what I was having problems with before.
yeah,
Chrome.
Chrome. Use Chrome.
He can't unless he can lip read. He won't get that. Chrome. He might not know what that means.
No, you've frozen. Chrome. Use the browser Chrome.
Ollie C says hi. We'll have to let John fiddle around, see what yeah, you know. Oh look, my bloody nemesis. AJ located missile 5432. This guy's doing my nothing. I don't know why I agreed to do sit downs. He messaged me the other day. He's going, "Do you want to do? Are you a fan of Red Sonja?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's all right." I read the comic books. He goes, "Oh, do you want to do a live watch? Are you going to be there, Gareth?" He goes, "Yeah, if I must." Stephen Jackson, lost in translation. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully, that don't deter John from. So it looks like it's only 3 of us at the moment. Fingers crossed. I guess you could say this stream went sideways fast, huh, fellas? John went side on. I started on like that. John, try plugging in headphones. He's gone at the moment. Evening, Playtendo, Pete.
Hi,
Hi,
Pete.
Pete. How you keeping, mate? Adrian James. Evening, AJ. Happy Saturday.
You two keep freezing. Both you and Bumper keep freezing. I don't know whether
Sounds
that's
like you. That sounds like you problem. Because you're not freezing to me and Bumper isn't.
I should have a pretty strong signal, to be fair, but you never can tell with these things, can you?
AJ, type it
No.
out and put your
not all
chat
the
in
time, just
StreamYard.
every now and again.
Oh, yeah,
Usually
cool.
when you put your thumbs up, it freezes.
Thanks for that, Stephen. I didn't think of that. Although I don't know if he'll see it where he's not here at the moment. Oh, Madman, yo. I can't hear you guys. Can you hear us now that you're not on? Let me know. Gentleman's agreement, you have to appear now.
Well, yeah, he'll be listening, won't he?
Yeah. Gentleman's agreement, you have to appear now. That's me. I'll appear on Gareth's channel as long as he doesn't turn up. How you guys doing? Danny? Have we got any
Well,
questions? Throw us some questions, people. Look, we've got Matt here, who's a James Bond expert. We've got Bum here who knows more about horror than what anyone else does.
What have
yes.
you been watching? What have you been watching, Bumper, recently? What films have you been watching?
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. Let me just. So, Movie Madman's trying to get back in. Try your headphones. Are you using Chrome browser, perchance? Is that an option? Sorry, Bumper. Where were we? Go on.
Change whatever browser he's using.
Yeah, Chrome's the best.
Chrome's the best one. So anyway, Bumper, what have you been watching lately?
I had one of those bad weeks, I got to be honest. You know, like when you stick a film on and you can't stop from dozing off. I watched the football Tuesday, so that was another night missed. And then there's a new horror documentary out called In Search of Darkness 3. So obviously this is part 3. The first two are on for 4 hours each. They cover all the movies in the 80s horror. They're really well done. This newest one come on Shudder on Monday, I think. It's on for 5 hours, 40 minutes. So, you know, I watched like an hour and a half Wednesday till I fell asleep, hour and a half Thursday till I fell asleep. But it's been really good. They've had some amazing titles on there. Not obscure enough for you never to have heard of them, but obscure enough for you to not have seen them for 30 years. You know what I mean? And think, oh, God, I forgot all about that movie. So I know you're not big horror fans, but if you like movie documentaries, you know, all the talking heads, Carolyn Monroe, William Lustig, all the big names from the 80s, you know, sort of horror era. So yeah, they're really well done. Like I said, it's on for nearly 6 hours, this last one. The last film I watched was Maniac. I bought it on 88 Films Slasher Classics because it was a $5 off on Amazon, 20 to 15. So I watched that Friday night. It's a low budget shot on 16mm grimy movie, basically. Maniac. You probably know about it. The cover's famous with the guy holding the head and the bloody knife, and you only see it from the waist down.
Yeah.
Right, the guy in it, Joe Spinell, great actor, fair dues. I watched the extras after. I'm quite into that at the moment, and all the women he worked with who he butchered in the film, they're all saying, "Oh, such a lovely guy," you know, like. So he played the role really well because he's a horrible, grimy, sweaty bugger. Like, you know what I mean? You won't have a shower just for looking at it, but yeah, that's about it, really.
Okay, yeah, no, I love your passion for horror. I do. I know I'm not a horror fan, but I do. You like make me want to watch. No, seriously.
I'm enthusiastic about
your
it.
Passion is like, you know what I mean? It's superb. I love it. It's quite infectious, really, in that sense. So we have got. I don't know what's going on with John, Movie Madman. He's sort of here. John,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. That's good. We can't see
you, and now you can't see me. So
stay like that if you want. It's better that we can hear you, because then you can still, like, you know.
That's absolutely fine.
Yeah, cool, brilliant, superb. So we've got John Halfback, Movie Madman. He is sort of here in voice only, but that's better than having to lip read or him lip read.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was saying, John, what sort of genres are you sort of most drawn to?
Movie-wise, probably I agree with the horror films. I love horror films.
Okay.
I love comic book movies as well.
Yeah.
I'm a big lover of comic book movies too.
Oh, good.
But yeah, horror. I love horror films as well. Probably horror films and comic book films. And I would say action films as well, probably.
Oh, good. Bumper's like, because Bumper did search for your channel, but he couldn't find it, unfortunately.
Great.
Yes, I don't know, because I think it came up with loads of options. But like I said, I will put the links in after. So that's good. So have you been watching anything lately? What's the last film you watched?
Well, I was halfway through Lord of the Rings before I came out to do this video.
Okay.
So I've left my friends watching the second half of Fellowship of the Ring at the moment.
Oh, all right. Okay. Oh, so you've got friends there. You've jumped off.
Well, yeah, sort of. Yeah. If you can.
All right. Okay. Cool. That's good.
I shouldn't say that live.
What?
It's all right. Ignore me.
All right. And Matt, what have you watched lately then?
Last night I watched The Solitary Man, Michael Douglas. Have you seen that?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, it's about sort of an aging guy, sort of in his 60s. Danny DeVito's in it as well. And it's only about an hour and a half, but he's basically like a used car salesman. And it's all about him in the relationship with his daughter, and he's divorced. He's got an eye for the ladies, so he's always he's having a bit of a sort of ding dong with a sort of young girl and that, and yeah, it's quite. I quite enjoyed it actually. Just sort of looking at sort of an older guy, sort of still wanting to be young, but actually sort of struggling with things going wrong in his life. Maybe sort of looking at himself and thinking maybe, this isn't the best way to be. So, but yeah, there was that. I watched Black Panther 2 night before. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Probably the best Marvel film of Phase 4, I think. Probably alongside Doctor Strange, actually. I did like that. Did enjoy that one. So those two definitely for me the best films of Phase 4. Done very well. A good tribute to Chadwick Boseman. I thought I did it very well. And the night before that, I started to watch. I got 40 minutes into Everywhere, Everything, Now, whatever it's called.
All at once.
All at once.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Turned it off. Yeah,
Oh.
turned it off. I just, after 40 minutes, I just thought, I don't know, I just couldn't connect with it. There was a scene with Jamie Lee Curtis as like the tax inspector, sort of grilling them. Watched a bit of that, and yeah, I mean, it was kind of like a multiverse thing, and everyone's raving about it and saying it's fantastic, but I don't know. I just thought I've had enough of this and turned it off. So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
No, that's not right. That's worse than me turning off Schindler's List that first time. That's like, so the crap that I got for that, you're going to get it tenfold. I'll be honest, I didn't get into the film at all, and you got further in than me. I tried watching it twice, and I struggled with the fact that they were speaking English and part Chinese or whatever they were speaking, and that done my nutting. I can't do this. Stick to one or the other, people. I know it'd probably transition into full English going on, but there we go. Me myself, I've watched. Oh wait, one question though, Matt. You say that's a Michael Douglas movie with Danny DeVito. Was Kathleen Turner in it as well?
No, she's not in it.
I had to ask because obviously that's what, full film with him and DeVito and Douglas.
Yeah, I mean it's not a new film. It's I think from about 2010 it came out. So when you look at Michael Douglas, you can see he's starting to sort of look older. Danny DeVito still. I mean, you look at Danny DeVito now, and he's aged quite a bit, but he still looks relatively young in it, if you ask me. But I think it's about 2010, 2011. This film, I'd never heard of it before. I'm trying to think. Somebody else is in it. I forget who the lady was. Not Meryl Streep, but somebody like her. Can't think of her name. All
right. So we've got Gary saying hi. Danny says he's out. Norin Rad. Hello, everyone. Hope you are having a glorious Saturday. Now, Norin Rad, and I have to say this every time, is actually the name of the Silver Surfer. That's the Silver Surfer's name, Norin Rad. That's where Norin got that name from. Unless he was given that name at birth. I don't know. That's movie madman there. I'll try again. Star Trek. Okay. Star Trek. Star Trek what? Here we go. Richard has asked. Sorry, go on. Matt?
Susan Sarandon.
Oh, Susan Sarandon. Okay. All right, cool.
So yeah, and Jesse Eisenberg's in it as well. Quite young in it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, so here we go. Question for Bumper. But we can open this up to everyone. Bumper, you first. What's the last great horror film you watched?
Great is a strong word in it. So,
Okay, good.
I'll give you good horror films that I really enjoyed, because I'd have to go back some ways to find a great horror film, maybe as far back as like Hereditary or Midsommar or something. But there is some really good horror films out at the moment. Hatchin', that was a really good film from Finland. Never seen anything like it. Creature feature, coming of age type tale. Really good. Watcher with Megan Monroe, who's the girl from It Follows. So I met this girl, and she moves to a European country, I think it's European anyway, with her boyfriend. He's working there. She gets stalked by this serial killer, and she can't turn to anyone for help. Like, they don't speak the language or whatever, so it's a really taut. It's probably a thriller, really, but these days they all get into the thing for horror. Pearl, absolutely amazing. 5 out of 5 all day. I could probably go on for a bit longer. What else have I seen recently that I thought was good? I'll let someone else have a chance a minute, and I'll try and think of some more good ones.
All right. John, are you still with us?
I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Cool. So anyone who's jumped in who weren't aware that we have got Movie Madman below us, but he was having issues with sound and, well, not picture, sound, but now we can't get picture, but we got sound. So that's good. So what about yourself? Is there a horror film of late that you've watched? Or what's the last decent horror film that you've seen?
Oh, one of the most decent horror films I've seen recently was probably Smile. Not to go as far as say it was scary, but I just thought it was a nice original idea for a horror film.
Cool.
The Innocents. I think it was a Norwegian film released last year called The Innocents, with all these small kids that get strange powers. But that was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Okay, cool. That's good. So
yeah.
All right, so there you go. So you got a little connection with Bumper there, which is fantastic. Bringing people together.
Wicked film, The Innocents. They do.
Yeah, I'm looking that up.
I wouldn't have known.
These Norwegian films, we watched those 2 disaster films. They're really good, aren't they?
Yeah, the Quake and
they made some good films, these Norwegians.
And The Burning Sea was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you can get The Innocents on physical over here yet. So be careful if you buy a German Blu-ray or something, because it's foreign and they never give you the English subtitles. I made that mistake so many times. So you might have to stream it if you want to watch it for now. I think it might be on Shudder. I could be wrong, mine, but you find legal ways of watching it. I just don't think you can buy it in HMV or whatever. That's all. Like,
there's a film that. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just looking it up now.
It's worth it, right? If you can rent it for £3, £4, it's a fantastic film.
Sorry, what did you say, John?
Google Play is a good place to buy films if you're looking for films digitally that you can't get physically. Like some films that come out early in America that you can't get in England, you can buy digitally when they come out in America. And Google Play is always a good place to look for films that way.
See, I've got a film upstairs that I got from Germany called The Pool. It's an Asian film about these couple of people who get stuck in the bottom of this pool that's emptied out.
Oh, I've seen The Pool, with the crocodile.
Yeah, but I've not seen one in English.
It was on Shudder when I watched it. The CGI's bad, mine. You're not missing much.
Oh, is it? Is it not good?
Oh, it's a terrible film. I
bought that from Germany, but it ain't got English subs.
You could probably watch that film without subtitles because it's such a basic story.
I think I'll just fill in myself in my head. Some other nonsense.
But there's a dog death in here. You know what horror fans can be like with animal deaths. They hit the roof, but it's so terribly CGI. Like, there's no way you could believe it was a real dog.
Really.
Like,
that's unfortunate to hear that. What about you, myself, Matt? Have you watched any horrors that's sort of blown you away lately?
The only one I can think of fairly recently that I actually quite enjoyed was the that Spanish found footage film. What's it called? We were talking about it the other week. One where they're all in the apartment block, and one gets bitten, and then they all just turn into zombies.
Rat.
Can't think of the name. Sorry?
Rat.
Rick. Yeah.
Rick.
I thought that was really good.
Yes.
I thought it was a really good film. Obviously, obviously all in subtitles, but kept you gripped. Really enjoyed that one. Isn't there a sequel of that as well?
Well, it's 4 altogether, but
oh really?
The sequel's a direct carry on from where the first one leaves off.
Then
the third one loses the found footage technique, and it's just a normal film.
Right.
And then the fourth one is set on an oil rig then, and it goes back to the story from the first two, even though it's not found footage. If I didn't
Okay.
confuse you with that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. I'll
Good
probably
see,
check
good
that
see
out.
the films. First two were amazing. The second one, what's that with the lights off? Mate, I'll do the job.
You lost me at found footage, so I can't watch a
It's
found
more,
footage.
it's more mockumentary than found footage. You know, you think you're watching a documentary and it slowly
Mm.
goes.
All right.
News report
Okay,
kind
so
of
it's
thing.
not like shaky.
There's a bit of shaky cam in there as it gets going, but for the first half hour, there's not so much, so you might be able to get into it enough to, you know, put up with it then. But
Seriously, Blair Witch put me in bed for. I watched Blair when I first watched Blair Witch when it first came out. I was then in bed for 5 hours, sleeping off motion sickness.
my missus can't do it. We had to turn the ambulance off because it was too
Wow,
shaky
really?
for my little flight. Yeah,
Yeah, I was all
I
right
wanted
with-
to join it, but
I was fine with that, but I'll avoid any sort of found footage films now. That Cloverfield I haven't seen. Just because I won't. You say found footage, and I'm not even going to entertain it.
you
Not
can
gonna
count on one
entertain-
hand the good ones anyway.
Yeah,
I think Blair Witch is probably really because basically just people running around in the woods, isn't it?
I think
So
that's
I
probably
do think it's probably one of the worst
Yeah.
sort of, shaky cams that you're going to get. But yeah, I know what you mean because I can remember sort of back in the day playing like the first person perspective games where you used to have the gun and I
Yeah.
couldn't play those. I'd get motion sickness. Whereas
Yeah.
if I could see the character, I'd be fine. It's weird,
Yeah,
but yeah, I know
no,
what
I'm
you
with
mean.
you. Yeah.
Well,
I found it hard to adjust to first-person shooters after playing, mainly side-scrolling games or ones where you see the guy. I could never get on with just seeing
I
the
just feel
cursor
sick.
on the
It's
screen.
stop.
Yeah, I don't bother. On some of
No.
them, you can push a button these days and switch between, like on Star Wars. But
so John, just a question: what browser are you using?
Safari.
Okay, Chrome is
Because the
usually the
link wouldn't
best,
open. The link wouldn't open in the other one.
wouldn't it? Okay.
No.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, learning curve. You'll get there in the end. We'll
It's fine.
we'll be
It's
figured
all right.
out. So, John, what's your take on the Fabelmans? Steven Spielberg movie. Are you interested in it or anything?
Well, I've heard many good things about the film. Obviously, it's been nominated for loads of Oscars, so there's that side of it. But it doesn't necessarily mean just because it's been nominated for Oscars that means it's going to be good. But I'll be interested in seeing the Steven Spielberg biopic, if you might call it. I mean, they've basically done what they did with Queen and Bohemian Rhapsody with Steven Spielberg, from the sounds of things. Although I think he's written it as well, which is not usual for him. He doesn't usually write what he's directing. I mean, he has occasionally, but it's very rare for him to do that as well as directing.
No.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see it. He's basically done what Kenneth Branagh did when he made Belfast. And Belfast was all right from what I remember. So I think it could be good.
Oh, cool. What about you, Bumper? Film you're interested in? Seen it? Or
I haven't seen it. I don't know if our copy's doing the rounds, mind. It's been out for a few weeks if you know where to look. But not really motivated to watch it. I got to think of Steven Spielberg. Obviously, he made some of the best films in the 80s and late 70s. But not really into like dramas or like these sort of feel-good melodramatic movies. I'd rather have watched some premarital sex and some people getting their heads chopped off. But if I come across it on telly, I would watch it. But I couldn't motivate myself. I'd never be in work and think, "Oh, I'm going to watch The Fabelmans tonight." So not for me. Sorry.
That's fair enough. What about yourself, Matt? Same for you?
Yeah, again, same really. I mean, if it's on Amazon or whatever, might watch it. But yeah, it's not something I'd rush to go and see.
No, I'll be honest. I haven't seen the trailer for it. I haven't. I know it's the sort of Spielberg's younger days, and I don't really know if I care. I'll be honest. If I care about days. Do I? I don't know. You know, if I've got nothing else to watch one day and I'm struggling for something, sort of thing, maybe I'll give that a try. But then saying that, given that my opinion is you know, is nonchalant for it, I might come away thinking, you know what, that's really good, because I've got no expectation or thingy for it. Is it something that we should be watching then, Mark? Have you seen it? What's your thoughts? To the horror expert, that's you, Bumper. I think I don't know what John's credential. We'll get John to answer this as well. See if he's got an answer for it. But Bumper, you're the horror expert at the moment. So, what's the most romantic horror film you've ever watched? It's an interesting.
To be honest, I don't mind like a gothic love story if there's horror mixed in it, or any sort of love story if there's horror. I watched Bones and All the other night. That was really good. It was coming up on top 10 best horrors of the year. It escaped my attention all year. I think it's an A24 movie. It's a road movie about this boy and this girl who they just hit the road together. They're both cannibals. The problem is with it, like, it kind of wants you to live in this world where like every other person's a cannibal sort of thing. Like, but if you can put that to one side and you just follow these two like 17, 18-year-olds as they find themselves, get the grips with the fact that they're cannibals, like the girl's not so into it as the boy, but she needs to live. So that was pretty good. I'm trying to think of something that I've enjoyed more, though. Something that The Loved Ones. You've got to watch The Loved Ones, right? It's this crazy-ass Australian horror movie about this girl, and she wants to go to prom with the boy. The boy, Xavier Samuel, he's in a few of the Twilight Zones. He's quite a popular actor from Australia. He turns her down for the prom, so she kidnaps him, like, and takes him back to her house. And she's got this most crazy Australian redneck family, like, they're trying to drill holes in his head with this drill, like, and she hasn't got the strength. Every time she goes to put the drill in his head, she's like, I keep slipping all the time, and it's black comedy, but it's bonkers. But it's a romantic film, like, set around the prom and all this sort of stuff, like, so. The Loved Ones. Check it out if you haven't seen it.
Cool. What about, have you got an answer for that one, John?
A romantic horror film.
Yeah.
I think of Shaun of the Dead when you think of romantic horror film.
That's where my
I
mind
don't know
is.
if I go as far as to say Shaun of the Dead was a horror film. I'd say Shaun of the Dead
it
was
works.
probably more a romantic comedy more than a romantic horror film.
That's where my mind went. To be honest with you.
Oh, good. That's good.
It's a tough genre to splice. So if the monkey's got any suggestions worth watching, because like, you know, if it's done well, it's done well. But like comedy horror, it can be difficult to get the right balance.
I think. What about yourself, Matt? Any thoughts on that?
Well, we're going to say, I mean, again, another film I watched this week, which I suppose it had a little bit of a romance in it to the start, because it sort of revolves around a wedding. Ready or Not. And obviously, it's about, I don't know whether any of you guys have seen it, but it's about the wedding, and then at night they have to play a game. Everyone seen it? Ready or Not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in Ready or Not.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of, it's got a bit of comedy mixed into it as well. So, I don't know whether that counts as romantic comedy horror. I don't know,
but for me, I think it was the ending of Halloween Ends that we didn't get to see. The one where we saw some of it in the version where, you know, when she's slicing Michael's wrist, she's holding his hand, and we come to learn at that moment that the two of their destinies are intertwined, that one can't live without the other, and at the very end, when they're throwing him into the meat grinder, he's not actually dead, and he sort of pops back up, and she holds him in a loving embrace and throws herself into the meat grinder with him, or the car grinder, and they both die together. That's how I in my mind the film should have ended.
I'm just glad no one said necromantic. I got to be fair.
Anyway, let's move on. Dan obviously has popped in and not not. Oh, Dan says it bored him senseless as well. Anywhere, everywhere, all at
Yeah, I
once.
just couldn't get on with it.
We were talking about it earlier, Dan, because Matt. Oh, he's up there. Matt switched it off about 40 minutes in. He got further than me.
Just couldn't get into it.
Bumper, did you like that one?
I'm the same as you, AJ. You think I'm making this up, but I tried to watch it twice. First time I couldn't get into it, whether I turned it off or fell asleep, I can't remember. Then second time I thought I'm going to try and watch it with my wife because it might be a film she'll enjoy because she always moans about me watching bloody stuff that she don't like. And then she got 20 minutes into this and I can't get into this. I want to see the scene with the sausage fingers, but I can't get further enough into it. I got a lovely 4K German media book as well, but yeah, I'm with you guys. I think I'm either missing the point or it's one of them films where critically is loved, but maybe the average Joe user review isn't quite as good as they want you to believe. But I don't know, you know.
So now I've got to ask John this question. If he's seen it.
Yeah, I have. I saw it 7 times at the cinema.
Wow. Okay, so your opinion differs to everyone else here.
Yeah, I would go as far as to say that. I mean, maybe not on purpose, but yeah.
So you really
I loved it. I loved it. I couldn't explain why I loved it, but I just did. It was just my sort of humour for the day I was watching it the first time. I think it just really tickled me.
Wow. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people have spoke it up, they've talked it up, and well, it's all subjective, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised that there's 3 people in here that, to be honest, that didn't. Well, I'm not surprised about myself, obviously, but do you know what I mean? Wow. But no, 7 times. That's shocking.
Was it a grubber? Was it a grubber? Did you like it more every time you watched it? That's why you kept going back. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe I just need to suck it up the first time and then.
Sometimes you get that with films at the cinema. You have to watch them more than once just to understand it. I don't know how many times I saw Tenet at the cinema to understand it. That was confusing.
Yeah.
So how did you go back 7 times then? Other people you went with them.
Off the record, I work at a cinema.
Okay.
So I don't have to pay to watch the films there anyway. So it's kind of like a perk of the job.
Okay.
So it was the sort of thing where I would watch something before work or watch something after work, that sort of thing. So yeah.
Oh, quality. Brilliant. Well, there you go. There's your answer. John didn't pay.
Yeah, basically.
Getting paid to watch movies.
That's right. Richard says that he'll check out that In Search of Horror free.
As long as you've got 6 hours to spare, cool.
Yeah, see, we've now got another movie. We've got Movie Mad Man on, and we've got Movie Mad.
Oh, God. Hello.
What do you mean, oh, God? I thought that we could get both of you on the chat, Movie Mad and Movie Mad Man. See how mad you both actually are. But Movie Mad, that was some TV, OLED, I would say. Got a 4Play coming tomorrow as Xbox doesn't seem to cut it. Okay, I don't use a game system to play on, so I wouldn't know. Anyone else?
I have got an Xbox One. I've got an Xbox One S, and I did use that as a 4K player for a long time. But the problem I was finding was that it was constantly getting updates on it, and you'd have to wait for all that to, sort itself out. Before then, watching the film. So, I mean, it's a good player. It still produces a good picture. If you don't want to spend a lot of money, buying a player, and obviously if you're into gaming as well, it's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. But yeah, I mean, a dedicated player is probably always the best option. But again, you're probably best off looking at Panasonic or Sony, to get a really good player. I mean, I'm sure there are cheaper models out there, but but it all depends. You know, it depends what you're showing it on. You know, if you're showing it on an OLED, then yeah, you're going to want the best sort of player that you can get, really. But
so about yourself, John, are you a bit of do you play games or anything like that?
No, I don't play games at all. I just watch films.
Yeah, cool.
And TV shows. I'm not a gamer whatsoever.
Yeah, no, same as me. That's more sort of my children's territory. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at a message. That's more of my kids' territory. And Bumper, you're not a gamer, are you? Or you don't use game system or anything like that, do you?
Not anymore, because I haven't got the time. I can't sort of pass the mantle on to my son. He's crazy for it, my oldest. I used to until I started having kids myself. Only at like a commercial game, like if there was a new Resident Evil or a new Grand Theft Auto, you know, it wouldn't be what I'd fill my spare time with. I was always movie watching. But if a game came out that I really fancied, or I tell you what, the biggest gamers in the world are the people who are in between employment. Because when I was in between employment, you could go to CEX, get a game for like 50 pence, and while away your days when you're waiting for the phone to ring. But aside from that, I got no time for gaming, man. But I would say to anyone who watches their physical media on a games console, it's got to be more power consuming, surely. It's got to be costing you more money the way those consoles rev up, and they won't turn themselves off either. So if you fall asleep in the night watching a film, your console's just going to be on all night. When most modern day players, they'll shut themselves off after inactivity for a few hours, you know what I mean? So I think from a power consumption, I wouldn't use a console for 4Ks. But, you know, sometimes it needs must, isn't it? Because they're not cheap to buy as a player. So
yeah, no, that's a good point, though. Something I've never ever considered. Danny says Goosebumps 9 is TV series for horror.
I was more into Are You Afraid of the Dark? But yeah, Goosebumps is cool.
I can't say I've ever seen it. I'm not saying I'd ever visited.
I was getting to you know, my going out partying age by the time Goosebumps come along, to be honest.
Maniac brings back days of buying Fangoria magazine, which is a great feature on Maniac. Anyone else used to read Fangoria? Or I only ever picked up one issue, and that was, I remember it had Predator on the cover back around the time that came out. But other than that, I wasn't ever a Fangoria reader.
No.
John, Bumper?
No.
Not Fangoria. I think it was always quite hard to get one. It was always a bit of a limited press because it was an American magazine. I should just read Empire and Total, really, when magazines were a thing. Remember that?
Yes, when they were a thing.
I used to really look forward to Total Empire. Obviously, it'd come out once a month and I could while away 4 hours reading Total Empire. You know, a couple of cups of tea and whatever on a Sunday afternoon, but it's just another hobby that's dead in the water now, reading magazines, isn't it?
No, that's right. I mean, I used to, for me, there was Empire, Total Film. What else was there? Dream Watch, SFX. I'd go into the science fiction side of it as well. Magazine. Yeah, wow.
Ian the Ramblings, he's always, every month he picks up SFX and he shows it. Yeah, he shows it. And actually quite like watching that because I wouldn't necessarily go into a news agent's now and look through. So he's showing you the pages. So it's like, yeah, you know, it's nice that he still wants to pick that up, you know.
The good thing about magazines back in the day was it was one of the only ways to find out what was up and coming. One day now you could just go on the internet and read a horror web page and get all your news. But before the internet, you know, you could buy these film magazines and they give you like a calendar list of what was coming out when and all things like that. It was really useful back in the day. But
what about you, John? Did you used to read magazines?
Total Film is probably about as far as my magazine reading when I was younger.
Yeah, I used to like.
Film,
I used to like when they used to have in their reviews. They used to have a predicted interest curve.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you'd start to get bored and where the film. Do you know what I mean?
I remember the predicted interest curve. Yeah.
Danny says he loves comic book movies and games. No, Danny loves his games. He does. Nice to see Bumper on.
Cheers,
Ian
mate.
is here. Ian's about. Hi everyone, trying to keep hope you are. Hi everyone, trying to keep hope.
Probably warm, I guess.
Yeah.
Keep warm. Been a bit cold today.
Well,
I watched Blood on Satan's Claw. Bumper, you know that?
no, Satan's Claw, yeah. 70s British folk horror, yeah. Good film.
Enjoyed it, but compared to Wicker Man, Witchfinder General, and Midsummer, it could not reach their heights. Not Hammer.
So it forms part of a trilogy, it does, Blood on Satan's Claw. Like an unofficial trilogy with the Wicker Man and Witchfinder General. Witchfinder General's the nasty film. The Wicker Man's the sort of slow burning, higher budget, good cast one, and Blood and Satan's Claw's the underseen sort of gothic-y one.
You're just like a fountain of horror knowledge.
They're folk movies. The folk genre's not that big, to be honest. There's some good films, but it's not. You know, it's not a massive deep dive into it. There's only a handful of folk horror movies worth talking about. Blood on Satan's Claw, I got a 4K, but it's been DNR'd well, so I can't watch it. It's like watching something on Lifetime, Hallmark, or something like that. You know.
Really. What about you, John? Are you aware of that one, Blood on Satan's Claw?
No, I've never heard of it. I've seen Wicker Man and Midsummer, but I've not heard of the other two.
What did you think of Midsummer?
I thought it was all right. It was very arty, and I didn't find out that there was loads of stuff to look out for in the background until after I'd seen it. So then I was like, I've got to go back and watch it again now.
That's it.
There's a director's cut as well, isn't there?
Yeah. I've never seen that.
Richard says he's watched Legend of the Werewolf from 1975 on VHS last night. Wish it would get a DVD or Blu-ray release. Anyone?
That's one I haven't even seen, I gotta be fair.
No, never seen it.
Bumper's letting the side down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if it's never had a DVD or a Blu, my VHS days were full of 80s horror. I wouldn't touch a film from the 70s when I was younger. Like, now it's my favourite decade, probably, but hey ho.
Yeah.
Ian said,
this is why
Terence Fisher.
This is why horror VHS can be quite collectible, because there's a title there. No Blu-ray, no DVD. The only way you can watch it is VHS. So, you know, they're getting snapped up. They go for some good money, especially in America.
What's
VHS?
But just to say, Terence Fisher, he's like he's the Hammer director. That was the best, you know. I mean, out of all the people who made Hammer movies in their 20-year run or whatever, Terence Fisher was the GOAT, as they say this day and age. Like, he done all the Frankenstein, well, not all of them, but the best Frankensteins, the best Draculas. I think he might have done some of the ones like the Gorgon and things, all the best ones, really. Like, so if you ever want to get into Hammer, but you don't know where to start, rather than look for titles, go to the ones Terence Fisher directed. That's what I did.
Does that name mean anything to you, John? Terence Fisher?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of Terence Fisher. No.
No, it's
no. You sound a lot more into horror films than I ever thought I could be.
Bumpers.
Well, it goes in decades, doesn't it? People are knowledgeable, aren't they? But people are knowledgeable about a certain era usually, because film knowledge is so vast. No one can know it all, you know. So everyone's got their strong points, really. Like, you know.
But Bumper is a horror aficionado, isn't he? Oh, no. Come on.
Well,
I'd say Ian is the Hammer expert.
He is more about Hammer than I do.
They are really. I mean, I can remember growing up watching the Hammer films sort of on Friday nights. You know, late BBC One. You know, and they're great. I mean, you know, you look at them now, and they're quite tame compared to modern day horror. But there's just something about Hammer that's they're just brilliant. You know, brilliant.
It's just comfort viewing. It's just comfort viewing. They're difficult to binge, because a lot of them are shot on the same set, so it gets a bit boring to binge them. Do you know what I mean? But Sunday afternoon, if you've got a spare hour and 20, like, stick one on. You know, awesome.
Yeah.
So everyone's a bigot. Says, what's VHS? Sorry, I'm being a troll. That's actually got a good question, John. When did your collecting habits start for film?
Films, as soon as I was able to buy them, I think. So probably about 7 years old.
Okay.
No, maybe a bit earlier than that. I don't know. 7 or 8 years old, I reckon. I probably started buying VHS.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you have any VHS left, or are they all gone and replaced?
No, I don't have any left now. My friend bought me a VHS when I was collecting my different editions of Shaun of the Dead. She bought me Shaun of the Dead in VHS because it was the only edition that I didn't have.
Okay.
So that was but that's the only VHS that I actually own now.
Nice. So you're a big Cornetto trilogy fan?
Yeah, I'd like to say so. Yeah.
What do you think of Spaced?
Spaced is great. Spaced is where it all began. Well, Spaced. I saw Shaun of the Dead first, I think, and then went back to Spaced, and then everything came out after that. So, but yeah, I love Spaced. Yeah,
it's you can't watch the Cornetto trilogy without watching Spaced, really. I mean, as in it just feels it's connected, isn't it?
Yeah,
very much. Matt, you got to get on that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've got it on DVD. I've just not seen it yet, but
no, break it out. It's only
on the watch list. On the watch list.
It's only 2 seasons. You'll love it. Seriously, there's a lot of popcorn references in there, culture references. Do you know what I mean? Star Wars.
I enjoyed Hot Fuzz. I thought Hot Fuzz was quite good. I've not seen. Was it The World's End? I've not seen that one.
Wow.
No. But yeah, Shaun of the Dead probably is out of the 2. Yeah, that's certainly the best one.
Yeah, cool. All right. Bayek, it's Parky. Does that mean Bayek, it's cold?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yes.
It has been chilly today.
Matt, can you say Bayek, it's Parky in Ian's accent? Come on, give it a go.
Bayek, it's Parky.
Ian, we love you. We only, we're not Bow's here. Bow's back. All right, lads. Mrs. had me gardening today. My back is killing me. Damn, Mrs. She's had you out there whipping you away. Get that gardening done. Everyone's bigot says The Last Jedi. I've got no context for that comment, so let's move on. John, The Invisible Man.
Never seen it.
Have you not?
What? Never seen The Invisible Man. I've made The Elephant Man, but I've never seen The Invisible Man.
Well, the original. Have you seen the new remake one? Where they got that sort of technology suit.
Yeah, I saw the new one with Elizabeth Moss. Is that Elizabeth Moss? Something like that. Yeah, I've seen that. That was all right. But I haven't seen the original.
Okay, all right. Movie Mad says he quite liked Black Phone, but he's not finished it yet. Thoughts?
Black Phone was good.
Bumper?
Black Phone's good fun.
I didn't like the Black Phone. That's too many tonal shifts. Like, I thought it could have been like a real sort of like Prisoners, like a dirty sort of kidnapping kids sort of film, but then I think like it totally shifted into black comedy towards the end, like when his brother comes down the stairs and his brother's lived with him for all this time. He's had no idea what's going on, and then he just taken away, just kills his brother, and I don't know, it was a juxtaposition for me between the first hour and the last half hour. It didn't mar up for me, so I didn't like it in the end. No, let me down.
Okay. Matt, did you ever see that?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was all right, but for me, it's just a one-time watch.
Oh. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. The little girl's performance just made me nearly switch off when she was being. I've said this before. When she was being the scene where she was being beaten, even though it was off screen, her acting in the reaction straight away after just felt so real. And as a father, with a daughter, I found it difficult. I found it really difficult. I don't like seeing kids upset. Horror.
I wanted to like it. I really did like it. It was on my radar before release date, for a long time. But no, it didn't live up to the expectation for me.
See, I'm like I said, Bumper, I'm funny with horror. I saw the film The Cellar with Alicia Cuthbert.
Okay.
And
I
thought that was okay.
I haven't seen that one. I can picture the artwork because I think it was on Shudder for a bit, but I haven't watched it.
And the only reason I watched it was because Alicia Cuthbert. I remember Jack Bauer's daughter in 24 and The Girl Next Door, and it's like she's vanished for a decade or more. And I was just interested to see how she sort of progressed as an actress.
Yeah, I think I remember. I think she's in a horror film I seen years ago called Captured. I don't know if it's I think it's Elijah Cuthbert. I could be wrong though. But it's pretty good.
She is. I think John's jumped out, so I don't know if he'll be back in. So Viking Wolf, not a bad new Norwegian werewolf film I saw yesterday. Bumper, I'm gonna go to you.
It only came out yesterday, so no, I haven't had a chance yet. Again, I think it's a streaming movie, but only came out yesterday. So
okay, so it'll be one on the old torrent sites. Or something.
Yeah, that's where I seen it. Like when I was looking for some films on my Fire Stick under the new releases, I seen the artwork for it. But it might be all right. But again, not a movie I'm motivated to watch straight away.
Oh, okay. If you want a good horror, just watch any Will Smith film. Says Bow.
Well, I would have debated it if we were 15 years ago. But yeah, I can't say I argue with the tripe he's put out in recent years. But I haven't seen Emancipation. Somebody told me it was pretty decent. It's directed by Anton Fuqua, who did Training Day and Tears of the Sun, Equalizer. And I heard it's pretty damn violent. So, do you know the film I mean? Emancipation, I think it's called. It's like the newest one he's done after
I've seen
the tennis one.
Yeah, I've seen the post. Is that the one where his face is side on in the poster?
Yeah. It don't do much for me, the poster. That's why I didn't have any motivation. But then someone who I do respect their opinion, they say it's pretty damn violent, like so.
Okay. Matt, you heard of that one? Will Smith's new one? Hopefully, like I said, movie Madman John has sort of jumped out. I don't know whether he's been booted somehow. Do you know what I mean? Or I know
it's always a nightmare your first time. If something doesn't go wrong, it will.
Yeah, I know. It did for me my first time with sound and all stuff like that. Bloody awful.
Happens all the time.
But yeah, you get set. It sort of settles in, doesn't it? So if you are watching, John, if you're not coming back on, it was great having you on. We'd love to get you on again, and hopefully sort out these technical issues. Maybe we can do a sort of a chat sometime and see if we can get it working properly. Not live, but do you know what I mean? See if we can get you technically working. Mark says VHS, also good horror movies. Bigger, Only You who? Only You, is that a film or something? Anyone?
Probably is a film called Only You somewhere in the world, but
probably. Yes, enjoyed it, mate. It must be. Warm Bodies was cool. What was Warm Bodies?
It's like a high school.
That's
romance. Nicholas Hoult, is that his name?
Yeah, I switched it off.
Yeah, that's it. Not seen it.
I picked it up for £1 in or £2 in Poundland. I tried watching it and I couldn't get into it. I can't understand the word he says. Is he Welsh?
Must be on about me when I'm Welsh and I talk 100 miles an hour, so I have to put your subtitles on.
And where are you from, Bumper? Where are you?
I live in the city. I live in Newport, so it's just next to Cardiff. It's the first city after you come over the bridge from England, so I'm far from like proper Welsh, but I am patriotic at the same time. So,
Oh, I can't understand the word he says. Is he Welsh? Ian says, is HMV going to be around in a few years? Will specialist releases and lots of useless junk be the death? Getting too pricey. Okay, there's a good conversation to be had there. HMV. Do you shop in HMV, Bumper? Do you have any near you?
Yeah, I got 2. So there's one in the big city in Cardiff, but with big cities, you know, it's expensive for parking and stuff, so it's a pain. But yeah, I got one as well in a more local place, but it's an old-fashioned store, not one of the posh new ones.
Okay, and what are your thoughts of HMV? You as well, Matt. Of HMV, their future, where they're heading, you know, in store, all that sort of thing.
Well, for me, I mean, it's obvious in it that they're not making enough money off the physical media, because whether people want to admit it or not, you know, it's too easy to find these albums and DVDs and things either on streaming services or on, you know, dodgy streaming services. So I can see why they lean more into the pop vinyls and the merchandise and the clothing and the snacks, because, you know, there's not enough people buying physical media to keep them going. I got issues with the cost of physical media at the moment. It's unsustainable. Like you were saying earlier on in the stream, I do a hunt every week. I'd have to, you know, I've got to look for the boutique stuff. There's no way I could just go out and buy every new 4K and every new big Blu-ray every week. You'd be bankrupt in a couple of months. So it does come out, you know what I mean? It is there. So it must be doing something right. But it'll eat itself with the specialist prices, because they're saying it's going to a collector's market and the average Joe's not buying anymore. But that collector's market won't have me in it if it's going to cost me 50 quid for one film moving forward. Like.
No, it is a bit. What about yourself, Matt? What do you see for the future of HMV?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously, I've not been to an HMV store for, well, probably 5 or 6 years now, because the one that we had near me shut down. And I don't know why, because it was a very profitable store, but a big store as well. But there we go. From what I've read, HMV actually are doing really well as a company. Certainly the vinyl side of things is really taking off. I think a lot of people are, and certainly the younger generation, are very much into collecting vinyl, and I think they like the experience of going into the shop and going through the vinyl, and obviously all the merch stuff and that. Certainly at Christmas time, I can see that being a big draw for people. Not so much throughout the rest of the year, because, like saying, a lot of it's overpriced. But I think they're looking for, certainly at Christmas, you know, sort of October onwards, those impulse buys. You know, people picking up stuff. But I think a lot of the, you know, from what I've heard, like Dan's Man Cave, he said, you know, when he goes into the stores, a lot of the physical media stuff shrinking. It's being pushed into the corner at the back of the store. So I can't honestly see that being their main focus going forward. I think the online presence will still be there, and like I say, it's mainly for the collector. And I think Zavvi are really driving that one with all of these collector's editions. And you know, I agree with you. You know, well, we saw it last year. It was literally week after week, collector's edition after collector's edition, and the kind of the collectability stuff goes out the window, because it's almost just like it's just a weekly thing. It's not collectible. It's just mass produced, and yeah, you know, gone are the days of sort of HMV releasing. You know, I mean, they're my Marvel films filming recently, and looking at the sort of the original 2 or 3 steelbooks they bought out, the Captain America one, the Thor one. You know, there's a bit of effort went into those, and it was unusual, and it was a great time to collect. But you know, Zavvi's just taken it over and just saturated the market. You know, HMV still do their exclusives, but they're not as polished or as good as they used to be.
They're not as overpriced as you might think. HMV. Their new stuff does retail the same as Amazon. What you don't get at HMV is that price drop 3 weeks later. You know, when you put something in your Amazon basket, you know you're going to get them. I know it's only £2.53, but that's quite a bit when something only costs £20. You know what I mean? So you know with Amazon you will get a bit of a bit of a price drop on it. Where HMV, you've got to, you know, it's only when it comes to a big sale are they going to drop their asking price. You know, no matter how old something is.
No. I mean, you know, you'd think that because I'm in London here, South London, and you'd think that you know I'd have loads of HMVs. I've got one in Bromley. Okay, it's about 3 mile away, which is my local. I think my next closest one is the Fopp store in, you know, which is essentially HMV in central London, West End. They're the only two really that the one that opened in Bexley Heath near where Dan's Man Cave. But that's, you know, not really an area that I don't ever venture out that way. So they're not really, you know, but yeah, it's the same. They're just stuff's been pushed to the back, physical media. Yes, I rarely go in and actually pick anything up in a HMV now.
The problem is as well, you better have noticed this being a collector, like, it's the same old shit. Like, you guarantee, right, if you want to sell a physical media movie, you release Blade Runner, The Thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just re-release of the, you know, I want a Titans of Cult release of, you know, just for example, like The Loved Ones, like I mentioned earlier, a film that needs to be brought to the masses for people to see. I don't need my 5th copy of The Thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just for an extra commentary or whatever. I just wish they would. There's such a big trove in it, you know. That's why the American boutique labels do better, like Vinegar Syndrome and Severin, because they're giving people stuff that they haven't seen or that, you know, they've been more interested in watching.
Yeah, no. That's a great point. I've never really considered, you know, sort of the comparison of the American labels to here, and you're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right there.
But with America, obviously, you know, I mean, how big is their population compared to the UK?
Yeah, it's a much bigger market. I mean, the guy who owns Severin, David Gregory, he's British. That's what makes me laugh. It's impossible to get their movies without spending an arm and a leg. But he's British. Like, well, I assume that he can't release the movies over here fully uncut, but in America, because they're all video nasties, they pass the classification better. So that's probably why he started out in America. But yeah, it should be a British company, really, but it's not.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know. So Richard says, I dread to think how you treat your significant others on Valentine's Day, hearing your idea of what's romantic.
She gets treated the same as every other day.
Ian's feeling cold fingers.
Put some gloves on, Ian.
I'd say 1996 Romeo and Juliet, teen lust leading to locking one of the lovers up with a corpse in a room full of candles before 2 suicides caused by hormones.
That's a synopsis, Phil. I got Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, but it's not a film I don't think I've ever sat down and watched properly. I gotta be fair.
Yeah, it's been a while for me. Xbox sucks. PlayStation is better.
My son would agree, but I'll have to take your word for it.
Yeah, I think mine would as well. My boys are PlayStations.
The PlayStation was always better until they brought the PlayStation 4 out, and then they got rid of the
backwards compatibility.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I had a PlayStation. I've still got a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation 2. I had a PlayStation 3. You know, fantastic console. But then they brought out the Xbox One with a 4K player, and I think at the time when I got it, it was about £200, and the cheapest 4K player you could buy was double that. So I thought, well, you know, might as well go for that. So,
yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, my first Blu-ray player was PlayStation.
Yeah, I still use my PlayStation 4 as a Blu-ray player in my living room. But I tell you a good thing about PlayStation, if you know anyone who wants to use it, is the Sky Go app. So if you know someone who pays the full whack for Sky, you could download the Sky Go app to a PlayStation, and you could basically have Sky and use the PlayStation as a Sky box. But it's the only device you could do it on, and then watch it through a big TV with a normal HDMI cable without any messing about. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Okay. Monkey says it even came out on October 27th. That must be 1996's Romeo and Juliet. PlayStation rarely updates. Bow will 4K spam my VHS player. Bow's very much he's not into the sort of upgraded stuff. I do both movies and games. Yes, Bow, good to know. So I've pressed a button and the comments have gone funny. Tricky. We all know AJ's favourite magazines were The Top Shelf.
Well, FHM was the one, wasn't it? What was the other one? It was FHM, and it was another one. I can't think what it was called.
Maxim. You had Maxim. You had Loaded.
Nuts and Zoo with like the cheaper ones.
Nuts and Zoo, yes.
Yeah. Lucy Pinder on the front.
Sorry?
Lucy Pinder, she was the one, wasn't she? She was always on the cover.
She was a big nuts, don't she? I've actually got upstairs, still got some FHMs. I've got Gillian Anderson's very first FHM photo shoot, which was I think 1996. It was a classic. She's in this like all-in-one rubber outfit in the magazine.
I think I can remember it because I've always been a massive X-Files fan, and I used to fancy the pants off Gillian Anderson when I was a 16-year-old, like, so I may have seen it.
Yeah, I mean, Spaced, the TV series Spaced with Simon Pegg does it because there's a joke in that where he's actually got an FHM. She says about him masturbating over Gillian Anderson in FHM, which he denies. And then at the end of the episode, you see him sort of that he has got a magazine.
You know what he was doing.
Yeah, it ties into all that stuff like the X-Files. It has all this pop culture references in it, and but it's not that very first. That was her second FHM magazine appearance. That issue that he had in that. Yeah, Matt, you got to get watching them. Danny says, has anyone seen the X-Files movie? Yes. Which one? The first or second?
Yeah, I've seen the first one. I don't think I ever watched the second one.
I don't think I ever got through the second one.
No, the second one's with Billy Connolly, and it's like just like a murder mystery, really, more than a supernatural movie. The first one was great. The first X-Files movie, well, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, because at that point it was part of the ongoing narrative, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it's in Mexico. Yeah.
I never finished the series because it kind of, I don't know, I got lost with it because she went out of it and then came back into it and then he went out of it. I don't know. After that, I kind of lost the plot with it.
If I remember rightly, she went missing for a bit, didn't she, in the narrative? But I think did she have a pregnancy, maybe?
Yeah, she was pregnant during season 3, I think, or season 4. So Chris Carter didn't want to recast her, so he wrote the storyline where she gets abducted. But that was just to have a baby. That was David Duchovny, I think, left on more or on less, polite circumstances before coming back. But
yeah, he was the main one left, really. Gillian Anderson, I think, did stay with it most of the time, didn't she? And then you had Robert
Patrick. She did his light in the end, because they brought dogged in, didn't they? Robert Patrick and Annabeth East, I can't think what her name was in the programme. But that mother did come back, but I no doubt it was for a big payday, like, you know.
Evolution was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good film, Evolution. Fair to say.
Yeah, it's like Men in Black type of style with aliens in it, sort of thing.
Yes, heavy on the CGI and the splatter, but it's like a bit of a Ghostbusters type movie, but swap Ghostbusters for Alien sort of thing. Like
that's right. Yeah. Duchovny, Sean William Scott was who's Thingy. Who's the woman in it?
The black guy in there, I can't think what his name is. He's hilarious as well.
That's right. And Julianne Moore. Julianne Moore.
Yeah, Julianne Moore. Yeah, she's in it. Yeah, Julianne Moore. That's it. Yeah.
So sorry, nerd. One real nerd is in. Hi, nerd. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hi, nerd. Are you orange? Oh, Matt's gone. No, Matt's back. He's shifted his position on my screen. What happened there? I don't know what happened there.
No, you two just disappeared.
You disappeared from me. Hello, Danny, my friend. Hey, mate. Hello, Ian. Kieran says hello. Hi, Kieran. DVD never came about. Would we still have VHS collection today? Oh, thank you so much. Mrs. has brought me a cup of tea. Look at that.
I don't know. Wouldn't we?
Sorry?
We'd have to still have VHS if DVD never came about, I suppose, because we still have film, wouldn't we? But there's always going to be a new format on there sooner or later.
Well, do you think maybe Laserdisc would have took off eventually, bigger than what it was? Well, it wasn't very big, was it? And then
I don't know anything. I don't know anything about Laserdisc. I never owned one, never watched it. All I know is they're like about this bloody big.
Yeah, I used to have one.
I'm surprised, like floppy, sort of like hard disk or floppy disk didn't come to anything. But
what about VCD? Do you remember VCD?
I've heard of it, but never had anything.
Did you? I think it's more of an.
You have that VCD?
It was more of an Asian format, as far as I'm aware. When I used to go up London. When I was younger, when I used to go to all the comic shops, I'd go into Chinatown up there in West End, and a few of these Chinese shops would had VCDs. I've actually got a VCD here somewhere. I've got two in the house. One is of the Scorpion King, very first one, and they're CD size, but you'd have a couple of discs. And I also had a Looney Tunes one, which had all the original Roadrunner cartoons on. But yeah, so they used to sell them. They were in CD cases. They had some Asian writing on and all this sort of thing. Quality weren't great or anything like that. But yeah, in Chinatown, they used to sell a lot of them.
I don't remember what they are now. You said they were spread out over a few discs. My mind went on to something different when you first said, but yeah, I know what they are now, the VCDs.
Yeah, they're CD size. They were CD size.
Yeah,
and they would play in Laserdisc players, I know. Yeah, they'd play in Laserdiscs. But, yeah, I don't know. So Legend of the Werewolf starred Peter Cushing, his only werewolf film, says Richard Vusten. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So Peter Cushing, that's the one he brought up earlier from 1975. So yeah, Peter Cushing's in it. So
okay, all right.
He's one of my favourite actors, Peter Cushing, but you couldn't watch all his filmography, I'll say, because he must have hundreds of film credits. That bloke fair dues.
We got a question for you next, Bumper, from Dr. Impossible. I was going to ask Bumper if he's seen a 2005 horror film from Ireland called Isolation. I was going to see this film when it came out, but forgot all about it.
I got to be honest, the noughties are really my sort of prime era for knowledge. That's when I was really heavy into watching films in the noughties. And yeah, I thought my Irish horror knowledge was pretty good. Isolation. It's not the one with Cillian Murphy, is it? With Cillian Murphy and what's the actress's name? She's a British actress. Paula Patton, is it? Or it might be, I'm not sure. But anyway, if someone turns up and says it's the end of the world, it's crazy guys, whether they believe him or not. A bit like the new M. Night Shyamalan film, whatever. I mean, that's the one. If he knows a Dr. Impossible, the cast is Cillian Murphy, and otherwise I'm talking through my ass.
No. Sean Harris.
Sean
Harris. John Lynch.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a different one.
He was in Prometheus, wasn't he? Sean Harris.
He's a good character. He's in Creep as well. You know, Creep, where the girl gets stuck in the underground train station.
Yeah.
He plays the white weirdo in that, like, and he's a weirdo in that. He's a good actor.
Yeah,
it's not a bad film. I don't mind that.
He's the only guy in it that I recognise.
I'll tell you, so many.
I haven't seen it.
TV stuff.
There are so many tunnels under London, London Underground, and all this, and even there's areas in London where you can look down grates and you can see, because London's built on top of London, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can look down. There's areas where you can look down grates and you can actually see lower streets.
Wow. Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's one on Charing Cross Road. And people just pass by it every day. It's in the middle of the road, you know, by a crossing. But if you go and look down, you can actually see what would be lower level streets.
Wow.
Creep is
there are sort of underground stations that are not used anymore, but I didn't know there were streets. Wow.
Yeah.
I've learned something that I didn't know.
Just just an aside, because you know the Mall or the Mall. I don't know the proper way of pronouncing it. It's the road that leads from Trafalgar Square right the way down to Buckingham Palace. Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you go down that road, every lamppost, older lamppost, has a ship on top, a small ship. And where you got Nelson in Trafalgar Square, he's actually looking, the direction he's looking is actually down there. And that's him overlooking his fleet. He's got ships on top of every. And also on that road, they keep the trees trimmed back from the roadside. And every lamppost and anything that's adorned in that street is essentially just bolted down. And in event of emergency, they can go out there and they can remove all that stuff like that, and they can actually land a small plane on that road. It's designed
wow
for that. And also she has got Buckingham Palace does have its own tube station underneath it.
Wow. You see, now you should be a tour guide, AJ. All this knowledge.
Yeah, but no, it's quite interesting when you walk around London, and you know, there's a lot of interesting places to see.
Yeah, I do the old Jack the Ripper tour. That'd be good.
Yeah, I've never done that one.
No.
Should do. Hey, Dr. Impossible, says the nerd. Matthew Nichols, hi AJ. Hi mate, how you doing? What do you think is the best classic Doctor Who story? I think Ian's asking the wrong people.
Yeah.
Is he asking the wrong people?
He is. I could only probably give two answers to that. The only episode of Doctor Who that ever sticks in my mind is the Weeping Angel one, because I watched it on a plane when I was going on holiday because there wasn't much else on to watch. Yeah. And you know, the two old ones that come out with Peter Cushing, the nice box sets that you got.
Yeah.
I got one of those, the blue one, the Invasion one. So that's the only other one I could really comment on, really.
The Invasion one. Them two. The Invasion one was the second box set. That's the better of the two, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's the only one I got. So they're the only two bits of Doctor Who I can have any sort of talk on, really.
Yeah, see, I can't. Matt, have you got any thoughts on that?
The only thing that sticks in my mind was the regeneration of Tom Baker into Peter Davidson.
That was when he fell off of a TV mast or something.
That's right, yeah. And that regeneration is very different to a lot of the others, where you've kind of got this mysterious figure that keeps popping up, almost like a ghost sort of thing. But it turns out that it's actually Peter Davidson and he goes into Tom Baker and then becomes Peter Davidson. But I can't remember a lot about the story behind it, but that always stuck in my mind. I suppose that was probably one of the first regenerations that I can really remember, because seeing Tom Baker regenerate, I was too young, so that's probably the first regeneration that really kind of stuck with me. But yeah, I can't really remember a lot. I remember watching Doctor Who when I was young and on a Saturday evening, you know, but I can't remember the stories, unfortunately.
No. So my favourite classic Doctor Who story is Night of the Daleks. I don't even know if that is one. I just made that. It might be.
If someone said to
I'm
me,
sure Ian will tell us.
If someone said to me, what's Doctor Who famous for, I'd say, giving the world Karen Gillan. That would be my answer. So,
yeah, she's done well for herself.
You know, I like Doctor Who, but I don't go back beyond the. You know, I grew up with it, watching it.
Yeah,
I don't go back beyond the '96 movie in my collection or anything, with the exception of the 2 films, Peter Cushing films. I don't go back. I don't revisit Doctor Who, so I can't give you an answer, Ian. Is Night of the Daleks a thing, or is that just a name? Is that a name that's real, or have I made that up? Tell me. Sounded good though, didn't it? It probably is a real thing. Movie Madman does some really cool magic on his channel. I don't know if One Real Nerd is referencing the Disappearing Act. I don't know. Hi Matt, what is your favourite Toby? But I will catch up with him afterwards and see if he's all right and if you know, he wants to try.
He had friends. I sound like he had friends around anyway, didn't he? So he's all right.
Yeah, he didn't expect it to be 2 hours.
Good job he didn't get invited on Pete's on a Tuesday. Gee whiz.
I know. Yeah, that'll shock him.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi Matt, what is your favourite Tobey Maguire Spider-Man villain? Favourite Tobey Maguire Spider-Man villain? What's your favourite?
Okay, so I'd say my favourite film of the Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man 2. I think that's the best film. But I actually think the Green Goblin, I think, is a more interesting character because he's conflicted. You've got Osborn. He's kind of like battling against his alter ego. And I think they kind of developed more of his character in the new film. We saw more of him coming back. I mean, I suppose you could say a little bit the same with Dr. Octopus. He's controlled by the, you know, the arms. But yeah, I would say the Green Goblin.
What about yourself, Bumper? Do you have one?
Probably the Green Goblin as well, because it's just testament to William Dafoe's acting in it. But I understand maybe Spider-Man's mine. I champion them. I remember when the Andrew Garfield ones come out, and people in like who I worked with a champion them were saying they were great, and I was just like, "What are you on about?" Like, you know. But I love the first one, the second one. I don't mind watching the third one. I know it's a bit over convoluted the plot, but yeah, I think the Green Goblin probably is the best. Yeah, good films.
My favourite Spider-Man villain, Tobey Maguire villain, is the only person who got the better of Spider-Man in all 3 films. And that was Bruce Campbell in Spider-Man 2. The only character who got the better of him by not letting him into the theatre.
Yeah.
Dr. Impossible says Legend of Werewolf is owned by Freddie Francis's son, The Ghoul, with Peter Cushing and Don Henderson. Kevin Francis owns a wide library of film titles but won't release them. Why not? Dr. Impossible.
It's funny, man. You hear some stories about film titles and where they find them. Like when you watch like the Video Nasties that I watch, the Italian slashers, and you watch the extras, some of these old film stocks, they've just been found in like old churches and old monasteries, just underneath them in like the basements, just covered in dust. And they're like, oh, it's actually a Lucio Fulci film, you know, like just in like it's just crazy. Like they just weren't looked after in the 70s and the 80s. They just tossed around left, right, and centre. So in people's garages, there are movies, you know, that may never see the light of day. Probably not any good ones, but you know.
Amazing.
Well, if anyone finds Batwoman anywhere, I want to watch it. Or Batgirl, sorry. It's Batgirl.
Yeah.
Batgirl, yeah.
Oh, Richard meant John is the Invisible Man. Bumper has a great channel too. All good. Hello, One Real Nerd. One Real Nerd. Matt and AJ channels are amazing. Thank you. Kevin Francis, you spoil sport. Our Movie Madman's there. He did message half an hour ago, but I've only got to his messages. He can't get it working. Might be his phone. That's all right, mate. We said we'll sort it out. We'll try again. Do you have a laptop or a? If you have a laptop or a tablet, you might have better luck. But we'll try again sometime. Resident Evil are good movies. I love those still books you have, AJ. Thank you. Matt has a different set of still books. Yours are the pop art ones, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I quite like those designs. Yeah, they're like you say, they're not true to the games, but they're fun. I quite like the character of Alice. I quite liked her story. But I do think I don't mind Raccoon City. I know people say it was awful and that, but having played the games, I see a lot of the game in that. Yeah, some of the characters aren't right, but Leon Kennedy, totally wrong. But there's some scenes in the police station and in the mansion that are just so much like the games. So I didn't mind it. I'd like to see a sequel, but whether we'll get one, I don't know.
Bumper, do you have the Resident Evil movies to your left?
I got the Raccoon City Steelbook. I haven't got the box set of.
The only reason I asked is because when Resident Evil was mentioned, you turned round and looked to your left.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, it is it. I tell you what, earlier when you were talking about VHSs, I thought you might come to me and ask me if I had any VHSs. So that's why I bent over earlier. But I got this. This is the only VHS I own. I got this in a car boot sale, 20 pence. So it's like a box for this.
Good deal.
It's in mint condition, like it's all in. And then when you open it up, then it's got like the special edition VHS. It's not Viewendo, the butters, but I can't rewind it because I haven't got a VHS. So then you've got the VHS, and then it comes with the novel as well. So you've got the book, and it's still got like all the flyers and the leaflets in there from when it was like first bought. So I've already looked on eBay, it's going for like 100 quid. So not bad, 20 pence. So that's the only VHS I own, but I'm quite proud to own it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't come to you and ask you.
Got a question for you, Bumper. What do you think it's a good idea that they're remaking The Exorcist?
I just don't care. I'm of a strong enough mind frame to separate the two. Like nothing they can do now can spoil the original for me. I'll watch the remake, and if I just think meh, I just think meh. Or if like The Hills Have Eyes or The Evil Dead, I think that actually is pretty decent. The problem is, and this is with all remakes, you should only remake a film that you can improve on. They can't improve on The Exorcist. It's the greatest film ever. You can improve on The Hills Have Eyes, and I Spit on Your Grave, Last Days on the Left, all the good remakes. That's because the originals were improvable. They weren't classics. Cult classics they are, but not classics in the mold of pop filmmaking, you know. So, but yeah, The Exorcist, there's no point in remaking it because it's just as powerful now if you watch it on a good quality than any Exorcist film they can do now. So yeah, no, and it's the same director as Halloween remake. So I don't know. But like I said, I don't care. They can do it, whatever.
I think there's a 4K coming out this year as well, isn't there? The Exorcist, the original.
It's going to happen sooner or later. So yeah, this year it could be if you read it on the grapevine. It's definitely a movie I double dip on. It's a fantastic movie. Ellen Burstyn. Everyone talks about the other actors, but Ellen Burstyn's amazing in it. So, and they have got her back for the new one. So.
Okay, one Freddie Francis film I remember seeing in the cinema was a 20th Century Fox film co-produced by Brooks Films called Doctor and the Devils. Timothy Dalton as Dr. Rock and Twiggy.
So Wicked film Doctor and the Devils. It's a little bit obscure, and I tell you why. It was on that thing I was on about earlier, that documentary.
Yeah.
In Search of Darkness Part 3. And I only realised because I remember seeing Timothy Dalton in it. And I remember seeing it from years ago. It was like a gothic horror. But yeah, really good, actually.
Okay, all right.
Twiggy's the blonde woman. Yeah, she's in it. I know who you mean. So, yeah.
Yeah, she was Twiggy was a model, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a good film, that is, actually.
I know her, she pops up in the Blues Brothers as well.
Never seen the Blues Brothers, sad to say.
Cardiff, nice. There's a train down my way that goes there.
There you go.
The trains go to Cardiff.
Danny.
Yeah, you want to get a visit. Danny's coming to Cardiff.
I'm done with city life, mate. The big lights and the big city. All I want is a sofa, the remote control, and the TV and the DVD player. I could be anywhere in the world.
Matt says, "What's your guys' take on movies turning?" Mark, sorry, Mark. I don't know. What am I going to? Mark says, "What's you guys' take on movies turned into TV series, i.e., National Treasure and Willow?" What's your take on that? I didn't watch Willow TV series.
I started to watch it, but yeah, I kind of didn't go back to it, to be honest. Not seen National Treasure yet. I was going to watch that, but for some reason, just Is Nicolas Cage got anything to do with it, or
no? I don't know though for sure, but
no. But I haven't watched it. I'm waiting for my bootleg Blu-ray version of it. Mark.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it, isn't she? Is she
she's in the Addams Family, isn't she? The new Addams
that's
Family.
what you might be getting mistaken.
Wednesday.
Yeah, she's in Wednesday.
Okay. Thought she was in that as well, but seems strange because obviously he did 2 films, didn't he, Nicolas Cage? You'd have thought they would have wanted to link his character in some way, or whether it's played by somebody else, I don't know.
Yeah, there's always been talk of a third, but I don't know. I don't know. Me, I mean, I don't mind if they turn, TV shows into films into TV shows. I mean, it's something like Willow. A lot of people are probably fans of that film and were dying for a sort of sequel. And you've got it in the form of that, which I think I'd be very happy with if I was a huge Willow fan. National Treasure, I could watch a TV show, just take it as a different thing, so to speak, with the same name. I'm trying to think of a good example of something that can't think of a good example where there was
I thought there was a couple I tried to get into, but they just can't live up to the movies. They done Lethal Weapon, didn't they? They done Rush Hour.
See, now you're saying that I really like the Lethal Weapon TV series. The first 2 seasons I really liked until they got rid of Clayne Crawford, who was the guy who played Riggs.
The guy, sort of Mel Gibson's character. Yeah, he was quite good.
There's a lot of crap went on behind the scenes with him and what's his face? He played Murtaugh, Damon.
Williams.
Yeah, he if I remember rightly, it's a few years back. He was obviously the star of it, because he was the big name. But Clayne Crawford came in, and people resonated towards him more. The audience resonated to, and he didn't. And old Damon Wayans didn't like that at all, and he didn't want to be. He was open, and I think he was hoping the show was going to be cancelled at the end of season 1. And it went on. Lots of crap went on, and he got him fired, basically. A lot of lying on set, a lot of... he was saying that Clayne Crawford was dangerous and all this sort of crap. But really, he just wanted the show to be cancelled and get out of his contract for it. I think it was a case of I think he wanted to make something with Warner Brothers. And I may be wrong here, because like I said, a lot of time's passed. I think he wanted to make something for Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers said, "We'll let you do this if you do this project." So he was hoping that Lethal Weapon would die. But to be honest, I thought I didn't think it was a bad TV show of a film.
Mm.
I would have thought
enjoyed it.
Sorry,
I would have thought Damon Wayans would have been happy with the gig. To be fair, because he's 90s actor, isn't he? You know, he is all about he was in My Wife and Kids for years. He brought in the big film roles like he was in the 90s, was he, when Lethal Weapon came out? So I think he's a bit stuck in the past. He thinks he should still be the big name.
No, that's right. But then there's some films, you know, like something like, okay, I know Reacher, Jack Reacher is based on a book series, and now you got it it was filmed with Tom Cruise. Not to go into the fact that Tom Cruise is small and Jack Reacher is meant to be big. I have never read a Jack Reacher book, so I wouldn't know. So that side, no effect whatsoever. And I like the first Jack Reacher film. And when I went to cinema to see the second one, I did come out with a missus, and I said that it didn't work. I said this book series needs to go to TV. It would work better, far better on the small screen than what it would on the big. And so I've got no issue with things going that way.
I definitely think Willow would work because you've got the world already built. There's no real lore you can spoil because they've only really had the one film. So yeah, if fans want to give it to them.
Yeah. So did you watch Willow, Matt, or any of it? Willow, did you watch any of it?
I watched 2 episodes, I think, and yeah, it was all right. But I don't know. It didn't grab me. I just gave up with it. Didn't really bother watching any more of it. But I mean, I think the money's there. I think again with a lot of TV shows now, but the production values are far higher, aren't they? They almost look film-like. So you know, back in the 80s, you could tell TV shows were a lot lower budget, but these days, they're certainly the budgets are there. But yeah, it didn't. I don't know. It just didn't really. Yeah, didn't bother with
back in the day, film actors would never go to TV and do TV.
No.
If they think that was a death sentence for them. But now it's big film actors do TV stuff and back and forth. I mean, look at Harrison Ford doing 1923. Kevin Costner, Yellowstone. Sorry, Bumper.
I could say Kiefer Sutherland started the trend with 24, didn't he?
He did, yes. Yeah. Bigot says, I'm an Aussie, give me a break. I'm not sure, but Doctor and Devils was the last film directed by Freddie Francis before he totally concentrated on cinematography. Okay. Danny needs to book a year off to catch up on TV shows. Right, what's that? Sorry, I hate it when this happens. I've lost. There's loads of questions. I don't know if I'm going to get through all these messages, people. Apologies if I don't.
I'm not in any rush, mate, but at the same time.
All right, cool. What about you, Matt? You in a rush?
No, I'm all right. I mean, I've got to do the washing up soon, but no, you can carry on for a bit longer.
You got the missus for that. Where are we? I miss the days of HMV when they were in movies and shows.
I think he's trying to say he missed the days when they sold just movies and shows.
Yeah, probably. Debating on the Strange New World Steelbook, but I regret not buying the Doctor Who one. Doctor Who Steelbooks generally go up in price, don't they? They sort of retain a certain value. Some of the Doctor Who ones. But only you can decide, Danny, if you like the Strange New World Steelbook or not. Everyone's a bigger. I'm subscribing to you two. You're all awesome, even if one is Welsh.
Cheers, Aussie.
Monkey, Xbox may, but it never swallows. PS2 was cheaper than DVD player. Used to watch DVD in the beginning. I kind of miss the days when you get a manual for games physically. Yeah, I suppose.
instruction booklets. I know you used to buy a game from the shop on the bus, read the instructions on the way home. Like, you don't get any of that now.
Danny says, did they do a spin-off of the X-Files? Yes, they did, didn't they? The Lone Gunman got a one-season series, I believe. Bumper, didn't they?
Yeah, the Lone Gunman, they did get one series. Yeah, they got a couple of dedicated episodes as well. And obviously they brought it back. I know it's not a spin-off, but they brought it back, didn't they, for that 10-episode run. The Lone Gunman was a spin-off.
Yeah, and wouldn't sort of Millennium class as being, because didn't they?
Millennium as well. Yeah, with Lance Henriksen, that's right. Yeah, he was in the one episode of X-Files.
Yeah,
linking into it.
Yeah, that's right. So it wasn't really a spin-off, but it was.
No,
it was Chris Carter, wasn't it? The
yeah,
maker, and it was linked. It was, and Lance Henriksen did appear in, so you could class that as a sort of part of that world, shall we say? That X-Files universe, and that was quite dark.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think Millennium. Yeah, that's it. I think Millennium was something Chris Carter was a passion project, but he couldn't get it greenlit until the success of the X-Files because it was a lot darker than the X-Files. So
it was all about serial killers and things like that, weren't it? If I remember
never
right.
got to those. Remember having the 3 seasons on box set? Because I got them in a sale in HMV, but I just never sat down and got into it. I'm sure it'd be a great show, mind, because Lance Henriksen is great and Chris Carter obviously knows what he's doing, so probably would be quite good.
Do you ever try Millennium, Matt?
Yeah, I think I did watch some of it back when the X-Files was kind of it's quite big, and I do remember it, but I can't remember individual episodes. But I never got to the end of the X-Files. I think how many seasons was there? About 7 or 8.
9.
Can't remember. 9. I think
9, and then the 10th one was the 10th was the newer one.
10 and 11. No, they've done 2.
Oh, you might be right, Dennis. Yeah, you might be 10 and 11 then.
Yeah, they've done 2 newer seasons. 2 newer seasons came.
Did they? Yeah, I think I jumped
original.
out when Duchovny left, and that was it.
It's 9 in the original, then 2 in the new event ones. Yeah, I remember the cliffhanger now from the first series of it.
That's right. Yes. But Millennium was very dark. I struggled with it when it was on. I remember I was watching them, but it was very, very sort of very dark storytelling. Serial killers and all that. I'll probably be better watching it now as a more mature adult than back then. The first X-Files movie. Will we still be watching superhero movies in 5 years? Will it become very niche, or will we be yawning? It's dying to death. Well, it's dying now. It's fatigue set in. You're talking. My love and passion for comic books, and even I am struggling. Black Panther 2. I watched half of it, and this was about 4 days ago, and I've not gone back to the other half. And not to say, what I saw first half was very good. It looked very good. It felt more of a solid film than what I've seen in Phase 4 before. But I stopped because I went to bed because it's 2 hours and 40 minutes, and I just haven't had the appeal to go and switch on the end. What does that say?
I do think, whilst James Gunn, he's rebooting DC, I think it's too little too late. I think, I think we've got Shazam's coming up. You've got The Flash. I think The Flash will be good. Not because of Ezra Miller, but I think because of Michael Keaton.
Not nostalgia.
Aquaman I enjoy. Yeah, the Aquaman film, but I think after that, I can. To be honest, I think I'll stop collecting DC films after that. I'm not. There was that new lineup the other day, wasn't there, that James Gunn did of all the films that are coming out, and I can honestly say I wasn't that excited. Didn't think.
No, I
God,
wasn't.
yeah, this is
There's
a new.
some very, very sort of odd choices there of stuff that people would just be scratching their head to. Even me as a choice, things that are not big comic wise, and you know, and all I got, I don't know. What I'm thinking is, you know, I can see James Gunn. I can see James Gunn's thinking. I can see these projects and thinking, James Gunn, you'd be perfect to direct this sort of stuff because some of these are groups of weird characters, but you've done the Suicide Squad, and okay, it may have been hampered by Suicide Squad and people's thoughts of that, but it didn't do particularly well for DC, did it? So what are you? I don't know. And Danny says he says I looked up the list of superhero movies to arrive in and still got years of them. But the thing is, Danny, what you can think of, you know, things change. Just because they've announced this list of films doesn't mean that they would necessarily come. If all of a sudden your next two projects just fail and make a loss for Warner Brothers or Marvel, they will be reviewing what they've got in the pipeline and how they go forward.
Yeah, certainly Warner Brothers.
I mean, if you go back to DC's original plan for, you know, Man of Steel and all those, when they started with Batman versus Superman, you had Justice League Part 1, you had Justice League Part 2. The Flash was out in 2018. That didn't come to pass. So things change. Just because they've announced stuff, all they need is for films to buckle, and that won't be happening. There we go. There's a question for you. Sorry,
I'm quite keen to see Ant-Man, the new Ant-Man film. I'm probably going to go and see that at the cinema. I'm excited by the trailers for that, and I'm hoping that's going to be the new sort of boost that we need. I think Phase 4 is really kind of, you know, hit and miss. Some good films, some not so great. But I think if that doesn't work, then I can see that decline just going even further. And yeah, I can see Marvel, if things don't, you know, work out well, things being cancelled in the future and then wrapping it up. You know, if it's not going to perform how like they want another Infinity Saga. That's what they want. But whether they're going to get that, I'm not so sure.
I prefer the sort of niche comic book movies from the 90s, you know, when they did like The Crow and Spawn and The Phantom. You know, I wish someone would pick up something a bit more obscure, like a bit more graphics. There's so many good graphic novels and comics out there. You know, there's loads of cool characters like in the I don't know a lot about comics, but what's the other company called after DC and Marvel? Dark Horse, is that what it's called?
You have Dark Horse, you have Image.
Yeah, so I'd like to see more of those sort of characters brought to light. Really, I get a bit bored of the same old.
Yeah, you've got, I mean, characters like Barbed Wire. She was Dark Horse.
Yeah.
The Mask was Dark Horse comic character. Hellboy was from Dark Horse.
Jonah Hex was that Dark Horse?
No, Jonah Hex is DC.
Oh, is it?
He's DC character, yeah. Time Cop with Van Damme. That's based on a Dark Horse comic book.
So that's what I mean. I wish these filmmakers would maybe dig a little deeper.
Things like Spawn. Spawn was from Image Comics. Image have a load of characters, you know, comic book-esque characters that we've not seen. You know, there's a few there they could go into.
I think what I'd like to see, and this touches on we were talking earlier, AJ, was I think it'd be nice to get some 18 certificate comic book stuff, like a new Punisher. I mean, if we could get Thomas Jane back, it'd be fantastic, you know. But a really gritty sort of 18 certificate Punisher film. You know, I mean, like the Dread, fantastic film, 18. But again, that didn't do well at the cinema, did it?
No, people were crying out for an 8. At that point in time, there was a lot of talk of people wanting mature comic book movies. And then Dread came out and they gave it to them. And okay, it was marketed badly. They should never have gone with 3D. And no one went to see the film. They gave them an 18 and no one wanted to see it. Went to see it.
Yeah.
But there was, you had no choice but to go 3D. I didn't know anywhere that was being shown in 2D. And if I had a choice between 3D and 2D for it, it would have been 2D. So a lot of people bailed on it for that reason. But there we go. So what's the better franchise?
Look at the Joker.
Go ahead, sorry, Matt. Go on.
Sorry. I mean, Joker, no, I mean, you know, Joaquin Phoenix, you know, fantastic. You know, was it a $1 billion film?
Yes. Yeah, very cheap made. And yeah, that was very good. So who's got a better franchise, asks Baked Steaks Exotics. Terminator or Rocky?
Oh, well, I don't really see Terminator as a series. It's Terminator 1 and 2, and then I just don't really know what goes after that. But Rocky, I suppose I could watch all 6 of them, I guess. I'd watch the first 4 over and over. But there isn't one film in the Rocky series that's better than Terminator 1, so I'll just leave it there, really.
Yeah, so I think overall... No, I'll say, what do you think, Matt? Sorry.
I mean, if you include Creed, the Creed films as a connection to the Rocky series, so if you include those, yeah, okay, there's some Rocky films that probably, I mean, I haven't watched all of them, but I'd say overall, probably the Rocky films have done better financially, and are probably a bit more consistent than the Terminator films. Obviously, Terminator 1, Terminator 2, fantastic. Terminator 3, I can enjoy it. It's not as good by no means, but there are some things about it that are okay. I didn't mind Terminator Salvation. I quite like that. But Genesis and Dark Fate really, not very good, to be honest. So, yeah, I'd say from a consistent point of view, probably Rocky.
Yeah, no, I have to agree. So I agree, but Terminator, you know, as a film stands, Terminator 1 for me, classic. Terminator 2, you know, I have issues with that film. Not that it's a bad film, it's a great film, but I have issues with it. But I think consistency-wise, Rocky. There's more misses in the Terminator franchise than what there is in the Rocky franchise.
Yeah.
I can't say anything more than that, really.
Rocky stuck to his formula. The Terminator tried to just, I don't know what the Terminator tried to do, really.
No, I know. Well, you got 3 films there that were meant to start a new trilogy, and each one failed.
Yeah, exactly.
Salvation, Genesis, and Dark Fate, and each one, yes, Terminator needs to be put to bed. It ain't working, is it?
I just work on the 4Ks of the first one.
Will Doctor Who under Russell T Davies produce any decent spin-off stories like he did with Torchwood? Will the overload be too much? Time will tell.
Yeah. Again, I think when they start branching out, that's when it starts to get all diluted. And
Torchwood was good, though.
Never watched it.
It's a big money spinner for the BBC, and there's a big crowd draw as well, Doctor Who. So you could see why they'd want to expand it, but you know, too much of a good thing is not always a good thing, is it? So
yeah, no, that's right. So that orange comment to Nerd was a Pixel reference. Pixel the film. I didn't get the reference though. Sorry, Peter Cushing did. I think that's starring another werewolf film called The Beast Must Die.
Yeah, Beast Must Die is a great film. Yeah, it's like it's a who done it. Like it's like a what was the like a Bravo type movie? Agatha Christie, like an Agatha Christie who done it type movie. It's a good film. Yeah.
Yeah. I love the first Power Rangers movie. I want to get the TV series, but HMV were asking £50 just for DVD.
Jeez.
Fancy
look on CEX.
Sorry?
So have a look on CEX. They usually do it cheap for DVDs.
Yeah.
But if they see it's good in HMV, then
Music Magpie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Music Magpie.
Anyone fancy a Krispy Kreme? Krispy Kreme. Have you seen Power Rangers?
Sorry, you broke up then.
Oh no.
I said, anyone fancy a Krispy Kreme? Have you seen the Power Rangers movie?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Which one?
The new one, the one that came out.
TV one or the actual proper?
The live action
the proper
film.
Theatrical
proper
one.
Film. Yeah, proper theatrical.
Yeah, I didn't mind that actually. I thought it was probably the best attempt at Power Rangers. You know, better than the TV series. At least it didn't look like, you know, rubber suits.
No, but you saw the product
the
placement.
TV series.
You saw the Krispy Kreme product placement. You couldn't get away from it.
I can't remember.
Seriously, just if you had, you know, the amount of times Krispy Kreme was shown or mentioned in that film, and I think she even eats one in it.
Yeah.
The villain at some point. What's her name? Danny watched the documentary on the streets under London. I think a YouTuber found hidden spaces too in London. Yeah, there's loads of hidden underground places. The most underrated Hammer werewolf movie is The Curse of the Werewolf. Oliver Reed makes it shine through for the first 45 minutes. He's not in it. I love this film. I've not seen it.
No,
many years ago.
Ian, the best classic, Who is the Five Doctors? Jamie Hart. Hello, Jamie. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Pieface 667. Evening, boys. Had a bit of luck this weekend and found a copy of the Omega Man on Blu-ray from a charity shop. Top old Suffy film.
That's Charlton Heston, isn't it? The Omega Man.
The Omega Man is that the original version of the Will Smith one?
Yeah. I Am Legend. Yeah. I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Legend's virtually a remake, isn't it?
Matt, that is Logopolis, then Castro.
Logopolis.
What's that?
Oh, we're talking about the regeneration of
okay.
Peter Davison.
All right.
Logopolis. Yeah, if you want knowledge about Doctor Who, just go and check out Ian's channel because he is the guru.
Geek Legion of Doom, Leo. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well.
Hi, Leo.
Modern Doctor Who.
Leo's on next week.
He is, yeah. That's right. What day's that, Matt?
Saturday. Back at 2 p.m.
All right, cool.
2 till 4.
Modern Doctor Who. Who else you got on with us?
Got a new guy, Cypher Sigma.
That's it. Yep.
Showtime. He's renamed his channel, so he's got a dedicated movie channel, and now he's going to have a toy channel because he's kind of had both in one. But I kind of suggested, good idea maybe to have a movie channel and different communities. So he's coming on.
Okay, Modern Doctor Who should introduce Absalom Dak from the comics. Dude with chainsaw sword. Have a proper action hero in Doctor Who. Okay, cool. Is that Leo? Is that character from the new IDW comics, or when was he introduced? Because Marvel used to do Doctor Who comics back in the day. At the moment, yes, Marvel done it during the sort of Sylvester McCoy era of Doctor Who. And at the moment, the rights are with no, is it IDW? Or is it Titan Comics doing them? It's Titan Comics now, I believe. Titan do them. Yeah, IDW. What am I talking about? Luke's Movies and TV. Hi AJ, how are you? I'm good. How are you, Luke? Enjoyed your company tonight, lads. We'll subscribe to Bumper and John's channels right now. Says Rich. Good. I like the games, and I didn't mind Raccoon City. We should look at.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
I think we should get Dimension needs to come back on sometime as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
You should see Matt's VHS editions; they're amazing.
Thank you. I've got a few, not many, but I've got a few that I've kept.
What's your favourite Star Wars film?
Who wants to go first?
It's difficult, isn't it, to pick your favourite one. I wouldn't say Rogue One, like, because if I ever think to myself I want to watch a bit of Star Wars, I always think I'll watch Rogue One. Before that, it would have been Empire Strikes Back. I know that's the sort of popular answer, but yeah, I think Rogue One is a really good movie. I've got to be fair. So yeah, I like that one.
Well, I'm going to be boring and say The Empire Strikes Back.
I would have to say Empire. Rogue One's fantastic, yeah. I don't know.
Certainly the best sequel.
Yeah, it's another series with loads of misses, unfortunately for me. More misses than hits in the film series of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, you take 8. It's easy to pick the crap ones, isn't it? You know, you could live with 8: Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Last Jedi. You know, but the others, you know, there's 4 or 5 that are just absolutely amazing, and then the rest.
Well, yeah.
I don't mind Phantom Menace. It's more Attack of the Clones that I'm not. I think that's probably one of the worst.
I know it's a shame he got Christopher Lee in it as well, but what can you do?
I'll be honest. I think I could easily lose Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones. I don't mind. Can't even remember the third one now. What was that called?
Revenge of the Sith.
That's it. I didn't mind that one too much. That was a bit better.
Yeah, that was good.
The entire sequel trilogy, I could dismiss completely. Even the first one of them, Force Awakens.
I think you should still do Defending a Dud on The Last Jedi.
Oh, good luck with that.
I think you should do that. Defending a Dud. Last Jedi.
I think that in 20 years' time, there'll be a shift of opinion on that film.
I shifted opinion already. I liked it when I seen it in the cinema, but then I couldn't get through when I watched it on DVD, so I just...
It makes a lot. It does a lot wrong. It does massively amount wrong. But I think it's the bravest of the 3 films. It's the one. I think it's the best looking. I think it's the best looking film. I think it's the best directed film. Narratively speaking, it makes some big, huge errors that I can't forgive. But I think. Aesthetically and in directing, it's the strongest. But there we go.
I await Defending a Dud on that one.
And I think Solo is horribly underrated.
Yeah, I like Solo.
Yes.
Good.
There we go. Danny says he loves National Treasure. Everyone's big. It says The Princess Bride.
Top film.
Yeah. The best Cage movie is Con Air. I can't.
Debatable, but it is good. So
Yeah.
Face Off.
I like
me.
I like Face Off, Con Air, and The Rock. Those 3 that he did in the 90s. Like, you know, they were the
The Rock's
3 best action movies of the 90s, and Cage was in them all. So can't fault it.
Okay. Do you watch Star Trek, Bumper? Are you a Star Trek fan or anything?
Only the Calvin timeline, really. I've seen those films a few times. I want to get into the older stuff. Just waiting to sort of buy them with a TV show. No, I did watch that newer one with the girl from The Walking Dead. I thought it was a really good one. It had a good budget. Some of the episodes were really good special effects wise, but I just can't do TV shows, guys. I just find I don't have the time. I can't get into them. I'm just film mad.
That's fair enough. Yeah. So this question, and for me and Matt, I suppose.
Go on, Matt, I'll drink my beer.
Yeah, from the One Real Nerd, Voyager versus Deep Space Nine, which is the best?
Well, I'm going to have to say, for me, I actually preferred Voyager because I struggled with the concept of it all being set on the space station, and I think they realised that, and obviously they brought in the Defiant. You know, what was it, season 3 or whatever it was. Yes, I suppose the characters in Deep Space Nine were a little bit more. They weren't sort of perfect like the Next Generation. You certainly had some characters in there, but I preferred the sort of on the starship, going to different places aspect of it. So yeah, for me it'd be Voyager, but I know you have a different answer.
Yeah, for me it's Deep Space Nine. Like, my favourite Star Trek series. I had no problem with the station bound set. I think that the characters gelled better on Deep Space Nine than they did in Voyager. I have a problem with a lot of the setup of Voyager. The fact that you've got a crew of Starfleet and a crew of essentially terrorists, the Maquis, that come together, which should have created conflict on board this ship, and that was all dealt with by episode 2, and just went nowhere. That setup was just,
pointless.
How great is that? You've got this 2 opposing groups of people having to come together to work, and the conflict that should create narratively, and they do nothing with it. I think
that's a good point.
I think Janeway's fantastic. I can't knock her. But character-wise in that program, all I can point to saying was good was Robert Picardo as the Doctor. Thought he was great. I liked Tom Paris, but ultimately done nothing. And obviously 7 of 9 when he came into it.
I say 2 words for me: Jerry Ryan.
Yeah. But Deep Space Nine, where it had the ongoing narrative and the war story, I think Sisko was a far more compelling lead than and more human than any other captain, because he had the issues with childcare and all this sort of thing, and seeing him as a father as well as a commander captain. For me, Deep Space Nine. Sorry, Bumper. Yeah. Star Trek.
I look at Star Trek, like I look at the Western genre. I think it's something I'm going to get into, but it's for another day. Like, you know what I mean? It's for another retirement stage of my life.
No,
there's so much of it in there.
Have you watched Bone Tomahawk, Bumper?
Yeah, I've seen Bone Tomahawk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Western horror, isn't it?
I mean, it's only like the blast bit in it, really. That's hardcore. If you knew nothing about it, you'd be in for a shock. Because that's the sort of film my old man would start watching on TV. You'd think, oh, this is a good Western. And then he'd get to that bit and he'd just be scarred for life. So.
Yeah, it was a decent film.
Good film, though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. But the Western genre is something I want to delve into. But like I said, I want to make sure I got the time and the energy to do it justice. Like, I've seen the big hitters, but
we are actually close to the end of the comments, so I will get through them if that's all right. Tom Clancy did a few good movies. Tom Clancy's the author, obviously, of the movies are based on his books.
Yeah.
One real nerd, that's a hard question. I think that's to the Star Trek one. It's not that hard. Come on. What is Bumper's channel? Thank you. I've subscribed to you, Matt. Bumper's Movies.
Yeah, the URL now is just Bumper's Movies. So you should be able to find it, but just check back for the link otherwise.
Yeah, when you search it, do you do it as, is it together? Is it Bumper's Space Movies, Bumper's Movies together? How do you?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be together. But...
disappeared.
That's it. I'm going to have a look for you.
I don't know if there's an apostrophe after the S or not either. I don't think there is, but
Bumper's Movies. Oh yeah, no, it's just a thing, isn't it?
Pop the link in the description.
Yeah, but it's like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're frozen.
Who's frozen? Me. Yeah, Bumper's Movies like that.
Yeah.
But I will have the descriptions in the thingy.
Picture of me and my best mate Simon Pegg.
Was that Simon Pegg?
Yeah, Simon Pegg. Yeah, I met him in the Empire in London. He was going to the cinema with his mother. I was only in there bit getting popcorn or whatever, and he just walked past. I was like, oh, Simon Pegg.
Wow. Nice one.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It was lucky.
Yeah, no, it's good. Willow series is woke rubbish, says Bow.
Really?
Which songs never got in films, though had the title of the film? Alice Cooper and David Bowie on Muscle of Love and Diamond Dogs. Which songs never got into films, though had the title of the film? I can't think of anything.
No, not off the top of my head.
Bumper, you got anything?
Song titles, match movie titles, but no, I'm not really sure, to be honest. It's a bit late in the night for me to be thinking of that, I think. Too many beers in.
Man with a Golden Gun, 1984. I don't know.
Remember the Golden Gun? Yeah, that's in it. Lulu sang it.
I don't know. You're more of a Bond thingy than me, Matt.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she sings Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah. But it was the opposite, wasn't it? What songs haven't? I don't know.
Yeah. Why not have 25-year break for DC movies like they did after Star Trek Voyager finished? I think for 25 years is a bit excessive, but certainly there should be a break.
Yeah, they're still calling for Ben Affleck to play Batman in 25 years. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Real 52.
It's too marketable, isn't it, not to make movies for 25 years? Too much money to be made.
That's right. Absolutely. What they worry about. In the new comic book shop, it was nice to see some Punisher issues. Cool. I would have them all. Empire Strikes Back. Danny says, what Star Wars? Laugh out loud. Obsalom Dak, he's an older comic book character, I think, from the British Doctor Who magazine from early 90s. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, I never really read Doctor Who as a comic. I've got a few, but not loads. They did do a Star Trek Doctor Who crossover comic book. The actors of Janeway and Seven never got on backstage. Okay. Bradley Stark. Hi guys, hope you're all well. We're all going to the World's Fair on Blu-ray to see what all the fuss was about. Still wondering, oh my God, how dull is that movie? Anyone seen it? I've not seen it.
But
it's it's like an experimental horror. I don't know if you've heard of that new film. There's come out called Skinamarink. There's having good word of mouth, but it's weird. It's an arty horror film basically. Like I think it's just about this girl who's like, I don't know, in her attic, just like a slow burn. I just don't know how to explain it, but I don't think it'd be a film for the masses.
Okay, cool. So Bigot says thank you. I don't know if that might be towards me showing how you spell your channel's name for him to find it.
Yeah.
But like I said, I will have to. Could have done it beforehand, but I don't know. It just slipped my mind. Matt, Alice Cooper was hoping it would be chosen. Does have a Bond feel.
I see. Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
So,
yeah.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of them comments. Oh wait, yeah. I was going to say I got to bumper. It's not a slow burn. It's a no burn.
Yeah, that's why it's where we debate. You know, it's
Okay,
definitely
so
a film.
To anyone watching, I can't see any comments coming in. Apart from that one, in Star Trek, which rank would you be if you got to choose? Okay, I'm not. That's the last comment, people. That's the last comment. I've closed the comments down for me, so I can't see them because we're going to wrap this up now. Because I do like getting to the end of the comments at least. So, line in the sand there. What rank would you be if you were in Starfleet, Matt? What would you be? Captain?
Me?
Yeah.
I'll be Lieutenant Commander.
Why?
Mate, you'd be a captain, would you?
Who, me?
Yeah, of course you would.
I don't know what I'd be. I'd be whatever role requires the least amount of work.
You don't want to be the captain, but you got to go down with the ship if it crashes.
Yeah.
I want to be the Simon Pegg type guy.
The captain has his own yacht
He does, yeah.
escaping. He has his own yacht.
I thought you have to go down with the ship.
Pod. The captain has a captain's yacht, which is it's essentially its own starship within the starship.
Oh well, spoiled by that.
I don't know what I'd be. I'll just be someone in the background who just randomly pushes buttons to make it look like I don't know. But there we go. All right, so let's wrap it up. It's getting late now and it's past my bedtime. So Bumper, thank you for joining us. It's been great having you on again.
Thank you.
I love your passion. I do love your passion for horror. It goes so deep. From my perspective, it's so, do you know what I mean? You know so much, and it's great to have that insight and feel that passion. So what have you got coming up on your channel moving forward?
Just more weekly hunt videos now, because I'm really enjoying those since starting them. And carry on with my 39 series with Trev. It's a bit slow moving because they're pretty hard to source some of these movies. So Trev might have it, and I got to wait 3 weeks for it to come from America or vice versa. But that'll carry on. And just content. I got a 5-year plan with YouTube, and I'm still in the first year and a half. So I'm just banging out content. I'm not worried about production value or anything like that. Just get it out. And, in a few years' time, we'll get on the posh editing stuff and the big mics and the more production value. But for now, just finding my feet still.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. It's great. What about yourself, Matt? What's coming up for you? What have we got to look forward to in next week's chat?
I did mention, sort of middle of March, early March. End of February is going to start my Marvel MCU collection, series of videos, probably about 6 videos. I've filmed 3 already, filmed 4, I think. There'll be a few sort of unboxings in the next couple of weeks, and obviously the live next Saturday, back at 2 p.m. on my channel.
And then you're not around for the 18th, are you?
No, the 18th I can't do. I'll probably be okay for the Sunday, if you're around on the Sunday. But yeah, the 18th. Going to be in London on the 18th.
Oh, cool. I might go and see Ant-Man on the 18th. It's out on the 17th, isn't it? I think.
No, that's funny because probably be going to see that as well on the 18th at the View, Leicester Square. You're not going to that one, are you?
No, drop into London.
See you there.
Yeah. Who are you going with? You meeting your son down here, yeah?
Yeah, my son's down there. He's at a university down there, so we're kind of sort of thinking of something to do, which wouldn't be too expensive. Found this deal online where you can. It's through Groupon. Have you heard of Groupon?
Yeah,
you can get View tickets. You can get 2 tickets at the moment for £9, and for any View cinema in the country. So I'm going to get 4 tickets for £18, £4.50 each. Can't complain at that.
No, that's good. That's great.
So yeah.
No, that's good. So stuff coming up. Me. What have I got coming up? I don't know. I don't know. What have I got? I've always got something, Whatever the day brings is what I've got. I did enjoy doing that Punisher Dirty Laundry live watch sort of thing and discussion as it went on. Kind of akin to how people do a trailer reaction, but I'm talking about it and my thoughts. And I'm going to do a few more of them. Now, obviously, I have to be careful because of copyright claim and all that crap. But where that's a fan-made movie, it doesn't really come into effect. So I'm going to do one for Batman Dead End, which is a fan-made short by a geezer called Sandy Cholera, where Batman fights an alien and a predator, which was really good. And it was done in the early 2000s. It was before the Christian Bale stuff. It was early on, and that's really, it's 8 minutes long, but it's really well done. One of the best iterations of Batman. It's probably the best iteration of Batman put on screen at that point in time, even though it's fan made. So I might do some more of that. We'll see. But yeah, so gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Bumper, happy to have you on again sometime. We should get yourself and Trev on at the same time, really, because you do your collaboration stuff.
Anytime, mate, anytime. And if Chad's here, it's a bonus.
Yeah, so that'd be good. And thank you, Matt. Thank you. And we'll convene next week, Matt, and with the 2 guests, Leo and I can't remember the channel's name.
Sigma Showtime. I forget what his name is. Chris, I think his name is. I think it's Chris. Cool. That's what he's got on Instagram anyway. So yeah.
So everyone watching, thank you for the comments, for the keeping it friendly and nice. It's always great. Go and subscribe to Bumper. Also, thank you to John, who did pop in, Movie Madman. I'll leave his link as well. It's a shame that we had the technical issues that we did. Hopefully, I can get him on again sometime and have that stuff rectified because, he's a decent fella. And he go and check out his channel as well. Like I said, links will be there at some point soon. So there we go. So stick around, gents, while I end it, and then we can catch up in the green room after. So goodbye all. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.